Chapter 23-21, Chi Sea's Divine Might. Chapter 23-21, Chi Sea's Divine Might. What a scheme, Fang Yuan. Star constellation Immortal Venerable's expression looked unsightly. Fang Yuan's move was extremely ingenious. He took Meng Qiuzhen to Central Continent, forcing star constellation Immortal Venerable into a dilemma. If Star Constellation Immortal Venerable continued to fight Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, Fang Yuan would take the chance to open his immortal aperture and put Meng Qiuzhen inside before wreaking havoc in Central Continent. Heavenly Court was already in a dangerous situation. The star array calculation formation was in an extremely damaged state with 80% of it destroyed. Divine Emperor City was being attacked by Xianxia and Lu Weiyin. It was already showing signs of being unable to maintain the two human path killer moves. If Fang Yuan attacked in this situation, he would definitely create an unimaginable massacre in Central Continent and Heavenly Court. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was worthy of being the #1 person in Wisdom Path. She made a decision almost immediately. She sighed and said to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, Fang Yuan is extremely crafty, he wants to use this way to protect Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, we cannot fall for his trap. I will go chase him and not let him get any chance to put his clone back in his aperture. Giant Sun, I hope you can kill Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable knew in his heart, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable clearly knew this was Fang Yuan's scheme, but she had to fall into it. It was true that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was going to make things difficult for Fang Yuan, but it was even more true that she was going back to defend Central Continent. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not argue. If it were him, he would also be willing to fall into the scheme to protect his Huang Jin bloodline. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable nodded, saying decisively, today either Spectral Soul Demon Venerable or Fang Yuan must die. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's cooperation made Star Constellation Immortal Venerable let out a sigh of relief. At the crucial moment, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable made a clear and sensible decision. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable immediately chased after Fang Yuan. Within the star array calculation formation's inner space. Demon Judgment Board was sent flying. Inside Demon Judgment Board, Guyue Fangzheng and Red Heart Traveler were sweating heavily, their faces turned pale with a sense of trepidation. At this moment, the previous owner and the current owner of Demon Judgment Board had joined hands. But they were still in a disadvantage. What forced Demon Judgment Board to retreat time and again? Careful, he is coming again. Red Heart Traveler, who was mainly responsible for controlling Demon Judgment Board, reminded suddenly. Jean Boudou's cape fluttered fiercely as he flew closer. After he activated Incomplete Freedom Transformation, he was a genuine human-shaped beast that even Demon Judgment Board was not able to properly take a hit from him. Guyue Fangzheng received Red Heart Traveler's reminder, he felt a quiver and shouted frantically, let's try again. Demon Judgment Board let out waves of blood light. The blood light was like a tide that quickly spread thousands of feet. The scarlet-red blood light contained endless coldness. Jean Boudou had to charge into the blood light to near Demon Judgment Board. His movement inevitably slowed down. This move again. Jean Boudou's expression turned somewhat strange. He had already been obstructed by this blood path killer move 3 times in a row. Demon Judgment Board used the time when Jean Boudou had slowed down to retreat to a safe distance. And the one who accomplished this was Guyue Fangzheng. Red Heart Traveler looked at Guyue Fangzheng with gratitude and admiration. Guyue Fangzheng had activated Blood Turns Cold killer move, but he had connected this move to Demon Judgment Board so closely that it felt like Blood Turns Cold was Demon Judgment Board's killer move. Speaking of which, Red Heart Traveler was Guyue Fangzheng's master. But he did not accept the disciple voluntarily, it was mainly because of the orders from higher-ups and his own benefits. So, Red Heart Traveler's perception of Guyue Fangzheng had always been poor and did not have much affection for this disciple. But now, Red Heart Traveler's impression of Guyue Fangzheng underwent a huge change. It was not a mistake to hand Demon Judgment Board over to you. Fangzheng, you have to work harder in the future. Red Heart Traveler encouraged. Oh, yes, I will engrave Master's words in my heart. Guyue Fangzheng was somewhat surprised before saying with a sigh, I came in touch with the essence of painting path when I entered derivation formation, which allowed me to modify blood turns cold killer move. Its might is amplified through Demon Judgment Board and is able to freeze the blood of rank 8 Gu immortal experts and kill them. But against Zhanbu, it can only obstruct him for a short while. Red Heart Traveler shook his head, advising, it is not that you are not excellent but the enemy is too strong. He is one of the strongest clones of Heaven Refining Demon Venerable after all. Alright, we must keep on pestering Zhanbu and not let him destroy the whole formation space easily. Red Heart Traveler could not hide his worries when he said this. Sigh, if we really were to talk of it, Heaven Refining Demon Venerable's strongest clone is Chi Sea Ancestor. I hope Lady Qin Dingling can stall him. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. The star array calculation formations bases were set up in the two heavens grotto heavens. Right now, there were almost none of these grotto heavens remaining. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven was the last pillar remaining. Chi currents gushed out like an ocean swarming the sky as Chi Sea Ancestor, who was standing high in the sky, looked down at everyone. Chi Sea Ancestor, Duke Mei, Duke Tong, and the rest were either controlling immortal Gu houses or floating alone in the air as they looked up at Chi Sea Ancestor with an extremely solemn expression. In this fight, Chi Sea Ancestor showed the strongest battle strength among all the existing pseudo-venerables. Especially Hu Elevation, once it was activated, it could forcibly break a grotto heaven and no one was able to block it. Be it Qin Dingling's luck path, Che Wei's weapon path, or the senior heavenly court experts like Duke Mei and Duke Tong fighting without caring for their lives, or even the continuous harassment by experts like Zhou Xiong Xan and Nine Spiritual Fairy, they could not stop Chi Sea Ancestor from destroying the star array calculation formation. Immortal Killer Move, 9 Essence Jade Du Pill. Ruan Dan was constantly activating pill path killer moves to heal the Heavenly Court Immortals. He also had a move called Life Sustaining Small Revival Pill, which could forcibly prolong the life of others if they were hit by a fatal attack. These were the gains he made in derivation formation. If not for Ruan Dan's spectacular performance in this battle, Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals could not have lasted for so long. Be it Ruan Dan or other Heavenly Court Gu Immortals, all of them had made progress. However, Chi Sea Ancestor had become much stronger, almost comparable to Duke Long at his final moment in the Fate War. Chi currents billowed as they turned into tens of thousands of giant dragons. They then dispersed and attacked Profound Literature Grotto Heaven from all directions, ignoring Heavenly Court's Immortals. Old Immortal Hua Yu cried out in sadness, Lord Fang Yuan, are you really going to exterminate everyone? His tears started falling. Duke Tong shouted, everyone, don't be shaken, don't risk yourselves in saving the mortals. This demon is trying to use our sympathy to influence our rational decision-making. Once our forces are split, we will definitely fall apart in his hands. It is our turn now. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch suddenly transmitted his voice to Shabi 95. Master, you want to use that move, but we are not proficient in it yet. There is no other option, we need to give it a try. We must pressure and disturb Chi Sea Ancestor. Otherwise, if he gets a chance, he will use Hu Elevation Killer Move again. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch activated the killer move. Shabi 95 took a deep breath and followed up by activating its Gu Worms. Their aura linked together, Shabi 95 turned into a vast lump of chi that poured into 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch, who had a round head and large ears, breathed in the vast chi through his nose and mouth, his body expanding rapidly. When he absorbed all the chi in his body, he transformed into a huge giant. The giant 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch slammed into the sky, covering Chi Sea, stirring up the boundless chi currents. Chi Sea Ancestor's body shook and almost lost control of the Chi Sea. Inside the Chi Sea, the giant 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch started sucking in the chi currents crazily. The Chi Sea's size continued to shrink. We need to act fast. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch is using Shabi 95 special characteristic to absorb all the foreign chi that he cannot hold on for long. Once the absorbed chi currents reach the limit, he will explode and die. Heavenly Court Gu immortals knew the details of this move and acted quickly. Chi Sea Ancestor was besieged from all sides. He pushed his palms to raise a 1,000 feet tall chi wall to stop Heavenly Court's attacks. He then slashed down with one arm. Chi blades appeared from thin air and cut Duke Tong and 9 spiritual fairy, making them cough blood and retreat. Chi currents became vast and grand. Chi Sea Ancestor was about to continue his attack, but 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarchs started absorbing without any regards for his life. The chi currents became listless again. Chi Sea Ancestor snorted coldly, using Yin Yang Great Killer Hands to send 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch flying like a ball. He used Divine Flick to flick at Qin Ding Ling, Che Wei, Old Immortal Huayu, and Zhou Xiong Xan, easily forcing them back. Jun Shenguang was extremely fast and sent a killer move at Chi Sea Ancestor again, but was blocked by Chi Sea Ancestor's defensive methods. Immortal Killer Move, Orchid Breath. Chi Sea Ancestor's injuries were healed rapidly. Immortal Killer Move, Chi Engulfing Mountains and Rivers. This was a killer move within Primordial Origin True Inheritance. It was modified by Chi Sea Ancestor and had its activation speed increased by more than twice. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch, Duke Tong, 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch, and the rest who were still counterattacking shook intensely and fell from the sky. In the chaotic battle, Wan Zihong, Prince Feng Xian, Baizang Shui, and Uncle Feng occupied the east, south, north, and west directions, trapping Chi Sea Ancestor at the center. Immortal Killer Move, Earth Water Wood Fire 4 Elements Shifting Formation. This was not an ordinary killer move but an ancient battle formation. This formation required 4 rank 8 Gu immortals, there could not be one more or one less. Not only this, the 4 Gu immortals had to cultivate Earth Path, Water Path, Wood Path, and Fire Path respectively. The killer move activated successfully. Wan Zihong, Prince Feng Xian, Baizang Shui, and Uncle Feng were covered in armor that shone with green, red, black, or yellow radiance. The 4 colors spread quickly and linked together, showing a sign of transforming into a battlefield killer move. Chi Sea Ancestor's expression shook slightly as he revealed a trace of admiration. This move was a new innovation and was already vaguely reaching a whole new realm. It was not only an ancient battle formation but also a battlefield killer move. We must trap him. We cannot relax. Success depends on this. The Heavenly Court Immortals roused themselves. Chi Sea Ancestor laughed heartily. It is a good move indeed. The moment he finished speaking, a figure descended from the sky. The immortals' expressions changed. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-22, Star Constellation Scheme. Chapter 23-22, Star Constellation Scheme. Just as Chi Sea Ancestor was about to be trapped by the Earth Water Wood Fire 4 Elements Shifting Formation, a rank 8 Gu immortal came charging. The immortals saw the person. He had a tall and fit stature with a high nose bridge, there were golden dragon scales on his body, he had a pair of topaz-like dragon pupils, there was also a pair of golden coral-like dragon horns on his head. He looked like a peerless hero. He was one of the 3 main clones of Fang Yuan, Dragonman Wu Shui. The moment Wu Shui landed in Profound Literature Grotto Heaven, 2 Heavenly Court members, Fairy Maiden Soul and Golden Hooped Great Immortal, arrived closely behind. Wu Shui had been fighting with them before but had not completely gotten away from them. Be it Chi Sea Ancestor, Zhanbu Du or Wu Shui, they had all made a breakthrough in their strength. Chi Sea Ancestor's strength increased to the level of Duke Long at his final moments. Zhanbu Du increased the number of Gu worms he used and his methods became more comprehensive. As for Wu Shui, he had only been at the level of a Heavenly Court Gu immortal. But now, his strength surpassed 2 Heavenly Court rank 8s. If this continues, Wu Shui will definitely become a pseudo-venerable one day. We must stop Wu Shui, don't let him save Chi Sea Ancestor. Heavenly Court Gu Immortal Jun Shenguang was the first to move, followed by 9 Spiritual Fairy, Duke Mei, and Duke Tong. Wu Shui was attacked by 6 Heavenly Court Gu Immortals, his situation instantly turning dangerous. He could only choose to protect himself first. Countless ants wrapped around him layer upon layer. No matter how many were destroyed, they would be replenished immediately as if they were infinitely spawning. Open up. Chi Sea Ancestor's sleeves fluttered wildly as 1,000 feet chi current rose. The 4 Gu immortals who formed the 4 elements shifting formation had a great change in their expressions. They felt they were like mortals lying on the body of an evil dragon. The 4 Gu immortals maintained the formation with all their strength, which was like pitting their strength against Chi Sea Ancestor. They immediately started coughing blood. Support us. Bai Tsang Shui called out. This is not good, help them. We can't lose this formation. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were anxious. Duke Tong, Duke Mei, and other immortals surrounded and attacked Chi Sea Ancestor. Chi Sea Ancestor remained unmoved. He defended against the attacks from all directions with a composed smile, showing a calm expression. Let's see how long you can defend yourselves. Because Chi Sea Ancestor showed his power, Wu Shuai obtained a much-needed break. He pointed his hand. The large group of army ants formed into the shape of a giant eagle. The eagle attacked Profound Literature Grotto Heaven like it was swooping on prey. Stop! Old Immortal Hua Yu was seething with fury. He moved forward to block, but all his methods could only destroy about 15% of the attack and were helpless against the remaining 85%. The whole of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven shook intensely. Army ants were tearing and gnawing at everything. The endless gnawing sounds were extremely horrifying. Save Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. It is the final support pillar of the star array calculation formation. Old Immortal Hua Yu shouted in grief. Heavenly Court Gu immortals had to send some people to defend Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. Like this, the pressure on Chi Sea Ancestor lessened and he could grasp onto battle opportunities more easily. Because they had to defend the star array calculation formation, Heavenly Court was in a passive situation from the start. This disadvantage was exploited viciously by Fang Yuan's 3 clones, not giving the Heavenly Court Gu immortals any chance to rest. Profound Literature Grotto Heaven was already in a ruined state. Countless beings were dead, and ants roamed everywhere. Many areas were even drilled through, forming tunnels that directly led from Profound Literature Grotto Heaven to the outside. But these were not routes to escape. Most of the Gu Masters could not fly, and escaping the Grotto Heaven meant falling to their deaths. Even the Gu Masters were in this situation, not to mention the mortals, animals, and plants. Xiao Bai, leave with my daughter, go. Imperial Minister Su was a rank 7 Gu immortal of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. Right now, he was defending Li Xiao Bai and Su Chi Han who were behind him. No, I will continue to fight. This is my home. Li Xiao Bai was already heavily injured. His voice was shaky, blood and tears flowed as he spoke. Imperial Minister Su turned around and glared at Li Xiao Bai. Now is not the time to be brave. The future of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven is bleak, but you are our hope. The people inside your immortal aperture are the hope of continuing the legacy of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven. Get lost now. Father-in-law, let's go together. Li Xiao Bai tugged at Imperial Minister Su. Imperial Minister Su shook his head fiercely, berating furiously, I am an important official of the Imperial Court while you are not. You can leave, but I cannot. The dynasty is about to fall, so what if I die? Ha ha ha. Imperial Minister Su laughed loudly as he pushed Li Xiao Bai outside of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven and then flew into the ant groups, engaging in a fierce battle. Father! Su Chi Han shouted with tears flowing down her face that she was forcefully dragged by Li Xiao Bai and left through the hole in the Grotto Heaven. But just as the two was about to escape successfully, a strange anomaly occurred. The aperture walls of Profound Literature Grotto Heaven crumbled apart instantly and were replaced by huge dark brown earth walls that were filled with bumps and holes. There were countless caves and passageways in the earth walls. It was like a maze. The couple, Li Xiao Bai and Su Chi Han, almost escaped but were bounced back in by the earth walls. What is this? Almost all the Gu immortals were astonished. A battlefield killer move. It is actually faster than my rumor cage. Zhou Xiong Xian's expression changed. Other Heavenly Court members also had unsightly expressions. They had yet to trap Chi Sea Ancestor completely, when they discovered that they were the ones to fall into a battlefield killer move first. That is Wu Shuai's killer move. Chi Sea Ancestor laughed to himself. Before the battle, they had already shared information about their respective strength and methods. Chi Sea Ancestor knew this was Wu Shuai's myriad army ant nest battlefield killer move. Its core Immortal Gu was rank 8 ant nest Immortal Gu. This move used a blessed land or grotto heaven as the base. Countless army ants would first be sent to corrode the blessed land or grotto heaven. After the corrosion reached a certain point, the battlefield would activate. Once it was activated, it turned the crumbling blessed land or grotto heaven into an ant nest battlefield. The activation process was extremely fast, but the prior accumulation took a long time. Thus, the fastest battlefield killer move was still Rumor Cage. After Wu Shuai activated the battlefield killer move Myriad Army Ant Nest, every existence in profound literature grotto heaven was trapped in this battlefield. He immediately sent army ants to attack Gu immortals everywhere. At the same time, he also sent many ants to devour the resources and breed rapidly. The Heavenly Court Gu immortals were attacked by the army ants. Looking at the army ants that worked in tandem with this battlefield, they realized that Wu Shuai was the user of this battlefield killer move. We underestimated him. Fang Yuan's 3 main clones have many new methods and almost all their killer moves have been modified. What about Fang Yuan's main body? It is not the time to be concerned about Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's situation. We need to break this battlefield quickly. Heavenly Court Gu immortals discussed quickly and reached a consensus. But how could it be easy to find a person in the ant nest battlefield that was as large as profound literature grotto heaven? The Heavenly Court Gu immortals tried many methods but had no gains. Wu Shuai was hiding at a corner, leisurely mobilizing army ants to move through countless tunnels, to attack the 4 Heavenly Court immortals who were in a formation. The 4 Heavenly Court immortals formed a battle formation to temporarily trap Chi Sea Ancestor but were being attacked fiercely from the outside. Chi Sea Ancestor saw the chance and raised tens of thousands of chi currents. Heavenly Court's 4 immortals received the attack and were at the brink of death. The Heavenly Court Gu immortals were unable to find Wu Shuai for the moment and focused their strength to suppress Chi Sea Ancestor. After several exchanges, the 4 Heavenly Court immortals were soaked in blood, their aura declined again. On the contrary, Chi Sea Ancestor still had ample energy and strength. If this formation were made of the 4 major paths, earth, water, wind, and fire, its strength should be much higher. Unfortunately, you lack a wind path expert. Chi Sea Ancestor laughed. As time passed, he started to see many more details. Chi Sea, take this. Golden Hooped Great Immortal charged forward, sending hundreds of golden hoops that flew chaotically in the air. The golden hoops were set to land on Chi Sea Ancestor, but were blocked by the surrounding chi currents. Duke Mei suddenly appeared. His snow-white eyebrows grew in size and pierced through the chi currents, binding Chi Sea Ancestor's hands. Chi Sea Ancestor gave a shout. Chi currents erupted like a vast tide that threatened to destroy everything. The chi current struck Golden Hooped Great Immortal, Duke Mei, and the other 4 Heavenly Court immortals. At the crucial moment, Jun Shenguang, O Xiong Xan, and others stepped in to help the 6 Heavenly Court members. 7 Fiendish Primeval Monarch attacked. His giant hand slammed down on Chi Sea Ancestor's head. At the critical moment, Chi Sea Ancestor smiled lightly. Immortal Killer Move, Ancestor Chi Retraction. This move was modified from Triple Chi Retraction Killer Move. It used 2 great rank 8 Immortal Gu, Heaven Chi and Earth Chi, as the cores. All the lifeforms in the range of the killer move would gradually turn into chi currents that would return to Chi Sea Ancestor and turn into chi path Dao marks. Hence, this was not only an offensive method, but could also be used to cultivate and increase the number of his chi path Dao marks. This move was extremely powerful and mysterious but had 2 huge flaws. Firstly, it consumed a lot of lifespan. Secondly, once the move was activated, whether it succeeded or failed, it could not be activated again for 100 days, in terms of Chi Sea Ancestor's time. Under Ancestor Chi Retraction, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals were first shackled, unable to even budge. When Duke Mei's corrosion person affected. His eyebrows, skin, blood, flesh, and lastly his bones, organs, and so on When Duke May's corrosion reached his bones, Golden Hooped Great Immortal also started turning into chi until he was reduced to nothingness. Duke May and Golden Hooped Great Immortal died one after the other, followed by Jun Shengguang, Zhou Xiongxian, and others, before finally affecting the four Heavenly Court Immortals who were the furthest away. Wan Zihong was the first to be unable to hold on, second was Prince Feng Xian, then Baizang Shui and Uncle Feng. Chi Sea Ancestor looked at the four. You still lack tacit coordination. More importantly, two of you have been revived recently and don't have all your goo worms, so your conditions are not perfect, which is the greatest flaw in this battle formation. You are dreaming if you want to trap me. The four Heavenly Court Immortals held on with clenched teeth and had no energy to reply. Seven Fiendish Primeval Monarch was unwilling to give in. Most of his body had already melted, but he still raised his injured fist and tried to smash Chi Sea Ancestor. You all seem to have forgotten me. Wu Shuai's voice rang in the battlefield. Densely packed army ants climbed up seven Fiendish Primeval Monarch's body. The giant seven Fiendish Primeval Monarch broke apart at the very next moment. Our main body is arriving. We've won this battle. Wu Shuai laughed loudly. He could tell that even without him making a move, in just a while longer, Chi Sea Ancestor would be able to kill the four Heavenly Court Immortals. Is that so? At the juncture of defeat, Prince Feng Xian suddenly revealed a smug smile. Chi Sea Ancestor, you fell for it. His words had not even finished when Chi Sea Ancestor, who was in the center of the four elements shifting formation, shook suddenly. The chi currents around him transformed rapidly into the appearance of Lin Jianxing, and he stood right behind Chi Sea Ancestor. Lin Jianxing, who was formed from the chi currents, was lifelike, but he had no expression. At the next moment, he moved forward and forcefully entered Chi Sea Ancestor's body. Immediately, Chi Sea Ancestor suffered a severe injury. His defenses crumbled apart. In a battlefield not far away. Star constellations will smiled inside embroidered tower and disregarded Zhang Budu as she threw out star constellation chessboard. Now, you shall see the true secret of the star array calculation formation. The star array calculation formation collapsed, the remaining stars self-detonated and let out a majestic and strange power. Under the control of star constellation chessboard, this power directly broke the ant nest battlefield and reduced the four Heavenly Court Immortals into powder, finally sealing Chi Sea Ancestor. Go! The voice of star constellations will transmit it from star constellation chessboard. Star constellation chessboard circled rapidly above Chi Sea Ancestor's head, shooting starry radiance that covered Chi Sea Ancestor and dragged him towards Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court's entrance opened a little, having clearly been prepared for a long time for this moment. Fang Yuan's main body arrived and saw this scene. His expression immediately turned shocked and furious as he shouted, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, so this is all your scheme. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2323, Central Continent Held Hostage. Chapter 2323, Central Continent Held Hostage. Success, we succeeded. Prince Feng Xian shouted loudly, his pale face was filled with excitement. I accomplished the mission. Wan Zihong's eyes were shut, her aura was almost depleted, she had never felt so weak and tired before. The so-called four elements shifting formation was only a cover to lure attention away, its true goal was to create an environment for Lin Jianxing's sword chi takes form killer move. Prince Feng Xian, Wan Zihong, and the rest had lost in the battle against Lin Jianxing not long ago. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was the #1 person in Wisdom Path since ancient times. In the contest of three venerables, she had relied on all kinds of small clues to deduce that Lin Jianxing was an otherworldly demon and that his strength had reached pseudo-venerable level. Lin Jianxing was cultivating in seclusion, hiding his strength. The world did not know of his secret. Although Star Constellation Immortal Venerable deduced it, she kept it a secret. Then she intentionally sent the 5 Heavenly Court Gu Immortals to attack Lin Jianxing. The goal was to use Phantom Path methods to capture the power of Lin Jianxing's killer move. Everyone knew that the Heavenly Court members' immortal apertures were phantom apertures. The injuries that they suffered in the intense battle with Lin Jianxing were essentially sword path Dao marks being engraved on them. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable deduced and modified a phantom path method to make these phantom apertures contain those sword path Dao marks and bring them back along with the Heavenly Court members. The retrieved sword path Dao marks could restore Lin Jianxing's method after a series of procedures. Chi Sea Ancestor was struck by this move. He immediately lost his footing and was then attacked by Star Constellation's will. He did not even have the time to defend when he was sealed. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable concealed the truth and only told the Heavenly Court Gu immortals of her plan after they returned. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable even apologized to the immortals. The 4 Heavenly Court immortals did not dare to accept the apology and only felt intense joy with not even any grievance. They were loyal to Heavenly Court and realized that it was very reasonable of Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to conceal the truth. Only under the condition where they did not know of it could they maintain such a secret and fight with Lin Jianxing without revealing any flaws in their emotions. But why try so hard to capture Lin Jianxing's method? Wan Zihong had mentioned this doubt back then. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not reply, only instructing them to follow her arrangements. When they saw Chi Sea Ancestor being sealed, Prince Feng Xian and Wan Zihong finally understood Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's effort. The most important element was Lin Jianxing's power. First of all, he was a pseudo-venerable himself. Although he was weaker than Chi Sea Ancestor, Heavenly Court's replicated sword chi method had gone through many amplifications and was stronger than Lin Jianxing's current limit. Secondly, Lin Jianxing's core immortal Gu was Sword Chi Gu. Although his sword chi was filled with sword path Dao marks, it also had dense number of chi path Dao marks. It was because of this that it could target Chi Sea Ancestor who cultivated chi path. Finally, Lin Jianxing's sword chi attack was too sudden. Chi Sea Ancestor was truly caught off guard. Chi Sea Ancestor is finally sealed. But Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable spent so much effort and trouble to capture Chi Sea Ancestor. What is this for? Chi Sea Ancestor is the strongest clone of Heaven Refining Demon Venerable. Maybe it is to restrain Fang Yuan. I heard Fairy Maiden Soul modified Bo Qing's soul. This shows that clones might be convenient but are also a huge flaw of the main body. The other Heavenly Court Gu immortals discussed as they watched Chi Sea Ancestor being escorted to Heavenly Court's entrance. Stop dreaming. Right at this time, a venerable landed from the sky. He was wearing a white robe, his black hair fluttered in the air, his eyes were black like the abyss, and his face showed fury and killing intent. It was Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan grabbed Meng Qiuzhen's shoulder as he maintained reverse flow protection seal and activated another move. Immortal killer move, arrival of dragon snake with dust fog and explosive soul wind. Fog billowed, dragons and snakes roared, forming a terrifying attack that fell on Chi Sea Ancestor like a vast heavenly river. Seeing Fang Yuan trying to kill his strongest clone without any consideration, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable who was close behind showed a solemn expression. Friend Fang Yuan, you are indeed vicious, you show no hesitation even when getting rid of your own clone. Unfortunately for you, I am here. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable took back her secluded domain of heaven and earth mental domain and stretched her 10 fingers. Her fingers pointed repeatedly with such speed that it created multicolored shadows of her moving fingers. The finger shadows condensed into deep blue lights that were extremely bright like shining crystals. Fang Yuan's soul fog was constantly cut by the blue crystal light and crumbled rapidly. The remaining power was blocked by embroidered tower while some traces of the power reached Chi Sea Ancestor but were blocked by the tight defenses of Star Constellation chessboard. Star Constellation, you. Fang Yuan's eyes narrowed sharply as he looked at Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. In the previous fight, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had not used such a method. It was not that she did not have them but chose to not use them. She had been concealing them. Chi Sea Ancestor being sealed and Fang Yuan counterattacking fiercely were within Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's expectations. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable defended with all her strength, not letting Fang Yuan have any progress. If it were Star Constellation Immortal Venerable who attacked Chi Sea Ancestor and tried to capture him, she would be obstructed by Fang Yuan and could not succeed easily. With the same logic, Chi Sea Ancestor was already captured now. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had the initiative and it became easier for her to obstruct Fang Yuan. In the end, under star constellation Immortal Venerable's obstruction and protection, Chi Sea Ancestor was escorted into Heavenly Court. Master's revival, there is finally some hope. A huge rock weighing on star constellation Immortal Venerable's mind was lifted at this sight, she could not restrain her joy. In the contest of three venerables, with spectral soul controlling the fused heaven, Giant Sun and Fang Yuan only had one option, which was to confront each other and wait for a chance while managing and preparing their forces. But there was a better option for star constellation Immortal Venerable. That was to revive other venerables. Three immortal kings appeared in Heavenly Court's history. If Red Lotus Demon Venerable was also counted, it could be said that they nurtured four venerables. Among 11 venerables, 4 were from Heavenly Court, this was a huge number. Besides this, there were no other super forces that could nurture a venerable. Heavenly Court was the first and the only super force. As long as another venerable was revived, Heavenly Court would have a huge advantage. There was no need to consider Red Lotus for now, but Primordial Origin and Genesis Lotus were very good candidates to revive. From what star constellation Immortal Venerable knew, Primordial Origin and Genesis Lotus had 2 revival methods, but they were concealed deeply. Time was needed to search for clues regarding Genesis Lotus's self-portrait and Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's Primordial Origin treasury. It clearly seemed like it would take a long time. But Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable had another revival method, it was the Chi Harvest Fruit. Heavenly Court's Chi Harvest Fruit formed Chi Sea Ancestor, so star constellation Immortal Venerable wanted to trap Chi Sea and resume the interrupted revival of Primordial Origin. To do this, Chi Sea Ancestor could not be killed, that he needed to be alive to preserve the Chi Harvest Fruit as much as possible. The difficulty in capturing a pseudo-venerable alive was very high. Chi Sea Ancestor could even endure 1 or 2 moves from a venerable and was not without any ability to resist. This was because he had the secluded domain of heaven and earth who land, while star constellation Immortal Venerable lacked a rank 9 wisdom path or star path Immortal Gu. Moreover, Fang Yuan had plenty of experience and was very crafty. Normally, he paid a lot of attention to his clones' safety and stored them in his immortal aperture, very rarely sending them out. If star constellation Immortal Venerable were to make a move personally, the commotion would be too huge and she would be obstructed by Fang Yuan at the very beginning. Thus, star constellation Immortal Venerable began to plan. Heavenly Court lacked pseudo-venerable level battle strength, it was an obvious disadvantage, but it could be turned into an advantage if used well. Star constellation Immortal Venerable set up the star array calculation formation to quicken the cultivation speed of Central Continent's Gu immortals and also to use as bait to lure Chi Sea Ancestor. Star constellation Immortal Venerable then used Lin Jian Xing's strength as the crucial method to target Chi Sea Ancestor. At the same time, she also showed all kinds of flaws to display her weakness to the enemy. She still thought all these preparations were not enough. Heaven Path Dream Realms. This was an opportunity to Fang Yuan, but was it not a fortuitous encounter for star constellation Immortal Venerable? As long as the enemy's fortuitous encounter was used properly, it might be one's own fortuitous encounter. Fang Yuan will definitely come. The moment star constellation Immortal Venerable discovered the Heaven Path Dream Realms, she knew what Fang Yuan's action would be. She could not do anything to the Heaven Path Dream Realms and Feng Jin Huang had not grown up, but star constellation Immortal Venerable could use them as bait. In fact, even if Feng Jin Huang was fully matured, star constellation Immortal Venerable was somewhat doubtful about using this girl. Feng Jin Huang's father was Feng Gu, the latter had an unclear relationship with Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Dream Wings Immortal Gu took the initiative to send itself to Feng Jin Huang. It was clearly the fortune of being Great Dream Seed, and the so-called Great Dream Immortal Venerable was the plan of heavens when Fate Gu still existed. Could such a person be used, especially at such a crucial time? The only miscalculation was that star constellation Immortal Venerable did not expect Fang Yuan to move so quickly. Since he moved this fast, he definitely has the strength to back himself up. Star constellation Immortal Venerable already expected this at the start of the battle. So when Fang Yuan continued to reveal his strength in the battle, star constellation Immortal Venerable was not as surprised as what she showed on the surface. Fang Yuan modified so many methods and has new killer moves, he has very likely obtained Wisdom Gu again. Star constellation Immortal Venerable stood before the entrance of the Heavenly Court and faced Fang Yuan. Starlight shone dazzlingly on this number one person in wisdom path. She said with a smile, "Friend Fang Yuan, do you dare to come into heavenly court?" Saying so, star constellation Immortal Venerable slowly floated backwards and entered heavenly court. Heavenly court's entrance was still open. Fang Yuan stood on the spot. He snorted coldly as he activated killer moves one after the other. First was arrival of Dragon Snake with Dust Fog and Explosive Soul Wind, then was shocking departure of Year Dream Wave and Dang Hun Sound, but both were easily blocked by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's strength surged with the help of Heavenly Court's countless Wisdom Path Dao marks. Fang Yuan's face was extremely dark as he sneered, "You are really the number one person in Wisdom Path, it is truly amazing. How about we undergo a hostage exchange?" "Fang Yuan, you don't have anything now, what can you exchange with?" Fang Yuan spread his arms and said loudly, "Right now, every single person in Central Continent, be it man or woman, old or young, immortal or mortal, intelligent or stupid, is my hostage." Star Constellation Immortal Venerable sighed. She had already predicted this. Her expression was a complex mix of helplessness, guilt, resolve, resentment, and others. In the end, her expression turned cold as she said to Fang Yuan, "Do what you want. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 23-24, Primordial Origins Grand Revival Plan. Chapter 23-24, Primordial Origins Grand Revival Plan. Do what you want. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's words almost froze the atmosphere between the two venerables. Fang Yuan could not help but laugh in ridicule. "Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, you are truly the immortal king of Heavenly Court, this is truly the number one super force, the leader of humanity, Heavenly Court." His eyes narrowed as his expression turned solemn. "This is not normal, even if it was just for my mere clone, even if this is Chi Sea, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, what is your true intention?" Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not speak, her figure flashed like starlight and disappeared from the entrance. Fang Yuan's expression was dark and his eyes shone coldly as some anxiety showed itself on his face. Fang Yuan turned around and flew down from spectral heaven, arriving in Central Continent and entering the battlefield. He was trying to take the Heavenly Court members as captives, but these Gu immortals had already suicided. They could revive in Heavenly Court's immortal graveyard. With the destruction of Fate Gu, there was a huge potential in the method of suicide and revival. Heavenly Court had complete methods. On one hand, the Gu immortals had phantom apertures. When they died, the phantom apertures returned, their losses were minimized. On the other hand, when the Gu immortals suicided, their immortal Gu could be transferred through Treasure Yellow Heaven. Now, this had already become a mature and excellent battle tactic of Heavenly Court. Under the same cultivation level, stopping a Gu immortal from escaping was extremely difficult. At the very least, one needed immortal formations or immortal battlefield killer moves to trap the target. To prevent a Gu immortal from suiciding was much more difficult than stopping them from escaping. What could they do about if the other wanted to die? But with Zhan Budu and Wu Shui pinning them down, some Gu immortals were still stuck in the battle. Fang Yuan's main body descended, bringing complete despair to these Central Continent Gu immortals. He directly waved his sleeve and suppressed all of these Gu immortals. He did not kill them and only took them as captives. He captured over 10 Central Continent Gu immortals, but there was not even one member of Heavenly Court. Naturally, these captives included Li Xiao Bai. Heavenly Court and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not show any movement. Fang Yuan's expression became increasingly unsightly. He thought for a bit and flew towards Feihe Mountain. Central Continent's Feihe Mountain was the base of Immortal Crane Sect. This mountain was not only a super resource point, the public blessed land of Immortal Crane Sect was also located on it. Fang Yuan was currently at the center of the star array calculation formation and the nearest superforce was Immortal Crane Sect. But when he arrived at the location of Feihe Mountain, this floating mountain range had disappeared. Fang Yuan's expression turned darker, he then moved northwest towards Myriad Dragon Dock. Myriad Dragon Dock was the same as Immortal Crane Sect, both belonged to the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. Myriad Dragon Doc's headquarters Blessed Land was on the island at the heart of Dragon Lake. Fang Yuan arrived here. Dragon Lake and the Central Island were still around, but the public Blessed Land was empty. Fang Yuan went to Heavenly Lotus Sect, Spirit Butterfly Valley, Ancient Soul Sect, Heaven's Envy Manor, Wind Cloud Manor, Combat Immortal Sect, Spirit Affinity House, and Black Heaven Temple, but all their headquarters were empty. Clearly, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had already planned to give up on Central Continent and had made sufficient preparations to bring away the sect members. Heavenly Court. Within Chi Sea Ancestor's mind. Chi Sea Ancestor could not move, his thoughts were also being suppressed by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's method. But Chi Sea Ancestor put up his final resistance with the remaining will in his mind. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, you are really a good schemer. During this period of imprisonment, Chi Sea Ancestor already understood the situation. Lin Jianxing's Sword Chi Killer move was extremely effective on him. First, it was because the sword Chi was concealed and also had Chi Path Dao marks. Chi Sea Ancestor was not able to detect it with the vast Chi current surrounding him at that time. But analyzing the situation deeper, Chi Sea Ancestor was certain that the main culprit were the sword Path Dao marks. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable sensed Chi Sea Ancestor's thoughts and said, "You are not wrong, Lin Jianxing is different from others, he is an otherworldly demon, and in history otherworldly demons carry otherworldly Dao marks. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had otherworldly space path Dao marks, so his Thieving Heaven's true inheritance space could block the future Venerables. In Crazed Demon Cave, when the whole of chaos appeared, Thieving Heaven used his otherworldly space path Dao marks as the main force to seal it. Chi Sea Ancestor understood at once, so Lin Jianxing has otherworldly sword path Dao marks. This move is probably effective against even Venerables. Isn't it too much of a waste to use it on a clone like me? Star Constellation Immortal Venerable then told the truth of the Chi Harvest Fruit and Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's revival. Chi Seas will shook fiercely, so it was like this. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, you already planned a trap when you set up the star array calculation formation. Later, you used Heaven Path Dream Realms to create an environment to lure me into attacking the star array calculation formation. We actually fell for it. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, as a Wisdom Path Gu Immortal, I naturally researched deeply into Fang Yuan's personality. Moreover, you are his most capable clone, there was a high chance you would be sent to attack the star array calculation formation. Chi Seas will sneered, in that case, even though you went through such an elaborate charade to capture and imprison me, did you manage to deduce my main body's actions? Your central continent is done for. Ha ha ha. It is such a regret. If you had refined all of the wisdom path Dao marks of Central Continent, you might have had a chance to block my main body. A pity, a pity. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's tone became quiet and heavy. My heavenly court is the leader of the righteous path. Over 3 million years had passed since it was established. Since then, countless heavenly court Gu immortals had sacrificed themselves to protect the righteous path and the whole of humanity. In the present situation, many venerables are confronting each other in utter chaos. It is much more terrifying and severe than when variant humans dominated the world in the immemorial antiquity era. Central Continent is bordered with 4 regions. Star Constellation, am starting to feel powerless after confronting the other venerables for so long. Right now, I can only pay attention to the key aspects and guard the overall situation. Since I made such a plan, I obviously know what Fang Yuan's reaction will be. The plan succeeded now, so the common people of my central continent and countless living beings are facing Fang Yuan's terrifying revenge. However, as long as Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives from this, my heavenly court will have 2 venerables. The situation of the 5 regions will definitely undergo a great change. Everyone knows that the demonic path is unrestrained and runs amok, but they do not know that it takes even more courage and sense of responsibility to defend the righteous path. I, Star Constellation, have sinned to create an advantage for the righteous path. I am sinful for sacrificing countless people. But I am willing to bear this heavy sin to create more hope for the future, for humanity, and for the righteous path. In fact, Divine Emperor City has already stored the records of various human chi in it. By cooperating with Heavenly Court's Immortal Graveyard, we will be capable of using more revival methods. I solemnly swear now, regardless of how many humans Fang Yuan slaughters today, as long as I have a trace of strength left in the future, I will do everything I can to revive them. If I fail to keep my word, then I, star constellation, am not fit to be human. These words stupefied Chi Sea Ancestor. Even as her enemy, he could not help but admire star constellation Immortal Venerable's resolve, sense of responsibility, and decisiveness. Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Sob, sob, we were too shallow, we even resented you before. Everything is for righteousness. How can we compromise because of Demon Venerable's threat and revenge? This is not kindness but a form of weakness. Right, if we compromise this time, we will do it again and again in the future. We are the backbone of Central Continent's righteous path. How can we bend our backs in front of Fang Yuan? Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects Gu immortals were gathered together, listening to the conversation between Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Chi Sea's Will. Emotions surged in their hearts and many even cried. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable used Chi Sea Ancestor to explain this situation to them personally. The resentment, confusion, anger, and other negative feelings hiding in their hearts were swept away. Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects Gu immortals were now filled with respect toward Star Constellation Immortal Venerable along with confidence and courage to protect the righteous path. But at the next moment, a Gu immortal shouted, "Oh no, Heaven Refining Demon Venerable published news in Treasure Yellow Heaven saying that we captured Chi Sea Ancestor to recreate the Chi harvest fruit and revive Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable." The crowd went into a commotion immediately. Many connected to Treasure Yellow Heaven and some of them started cursing, Fang Yuan, this shameless, despicable scoundrel. He even recorded Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's previous nonchalance towards his threat in a video and is playing it on constant loop in Treasure Yellow Heaven. He is trying to stir the hearts of Central Continent's people and damage our heavenly court's reputation. There is a spy, there is likely Fang Yuan spy hidden among us. Otherwise, why will he suddenly know the truth? Someone brought up the possibility of a spy, making the Gu immortals feel even more at unease. Many Gu immortals openly requested Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to inspect everyone. But Star Constellation Immortal Venerable shook her head slightly. Please don't be rash. I escorted Chi Sea Ancestor personally. By putting such an emphasis on him, it had already created doubts in Fang Yuan's mind. Venerables are not easy to deceive, it is normal for him to see through it. Although Fang Yuan cannot bring out any evidence and is probably not certain of it himself, he intentionally let out this information to gain the attention of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. However, it doesn't matter. I will be staying in Heavenly Court and won't go out for the following time. Even if Giant Sun, Fang Yuan, and Spectral Soul get into an alliance, they won't be able to hinder the plan of reviving Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. As long as we don't waver and stay here, Fang Yuan and the rest won't be able to do anything. The immortals' gazes shone as they praised Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's unmatched wisdom. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was indeed an expert in using such tricks. Even if there was Fang Yuan's spy among the immortals, she did not intend to investigate it. What was the point? People were not united right now. With Fang Yuan causing a great massacre in Central Continent, it would stir their hearts even more. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could not even unite the people's minds. Why would she add more chaos to this? Moreover, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not feel fear even if there were spies here. Even if Fang Yuan, Giant Sun, and Spectral Soul attacked together, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had the confidence to defend Heavenly Court. This was the benefit of owning their own headquarters. No matter how many people Fang Yuan killed, or how miserable Central Continent's situation became, as long as Star Constellation Immortal Venerable revived Primordial Origin, it would be a huge victory. It was similar to the earlier situation where Fang Yuan was beaten miserably by Giant Sun and Star Constellation, but as long as he absorbed the Dream Realms, he would be the true winner. In fact, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was already preparing to revive Primordial Origin even back in Crazed Demon Cave. When she was seizing the primordial domains, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable deliberately searched and gathered Chi Path and Wood Path primordial domains. So, once primordial domain revived, he could absorb the Chi Path primordial domains. Even if he did not reach Supreme Grandmaster attainment level, he would not be far from it. What star constellation Immortal Venerable was worried about were Immortal Gu. Even if Primordial Origin revived, if he did not have Immortal Gu to use, he could not use his full strength. This was the situation with Star Constellation and Giant Sun. They did not have suitable rank 9 Immortal Gu and had completely new rank 9 Immortal Aperture. Their condition was far from their previous life's peak state. Heaven Chi Immortal Gu and Earth Chi Immortal Gu along with the secluded domain of Heaven and Earth who land are with Chi Sea. Adding on Heavenly Courts Human Chi Immortal Gu and other Gu Masters Chi Path Gu worms are somewhat gathered now. It is indeed a huge pity that there are no rank 9 Chi Path Immortal Gu, but maybe Primordial Origin Treasury has it. When Master revives, he can activate the treasury. I won't need to search for clues to find the Primordial Origin Treasury. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable quietly planned internally. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-25, Fang Yuan plunders Central Continent. Chapter 23-25, Fang Yuan plunders Central Continent. Profound Jade Snake Cave was a famous super resource point in Central Continent. It belonged to one of the 10 great ancient sects. Heaven's Envy Manor. The scale of annual resource production of Profound Jade Snake Cave was among the top 5 in Central Continent. The resources it produced were of many types as well, including Enslavement Path, Transformation Path, Earth Path, Dark Path, Space Path, and Poison Path. Profound Jade Snake Cave was the breeding ground for countless poisonous creatures, among which profound jade snakes were the overlords that countered poison. Every profound jade snake was an immemorial desolate beast. They were born from jade, had no scales, were light green resembling jade, and emitted fresh fragrance. The most valuable resources in Profound Jade Snake Cave were the profound jade snakes, but it was not easy to find them. It was not only because profound jade snakes were small and enjoyed silence. Profound Jade Snake Cave's terrain was complex with thousands of caves in it. And because it had space path Dao marks, small caves often contained large spaces and were nested upon each other. Heaven's Envy Manor might possess this super resource point and also set up an immortal formation here, but had never grasped it completely. Every year, Heaven's Envy Manor had to send many Gu immortal experts to explore Profound Jade Snake Cave to capture profound jade snakes. But for the current Fang Yuan, it was not much of a trouble. Rise. After preparing for a while, Fang Yuan used a killer move. At the next moment, the earth and mountains shook. The whole Profound Jade Snake Cave rose slowly amidst billowing smoke, and under Fang Yuan's methods, shrank and was placed into sovereign immortal aperture. This was already the 11th super resource point that Fang Yuan obtained. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, if you don't hand over my clone, I will take away all of Central Continent's large resource points. Fang Yuan did not forget to shout threats. But Star Constellation Immortal Venerable showed no movement. She had clearly resolved herself to stay in Heavenly Court and revive Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. She was not going to be shaken by the outside world. Fang Yuan snorted coldly as he continued. He arrived at the source of falling Heavenly River. This river was a boundless expanse of water that heavily crashed at the riverbed from an endless height. The rumbling noise of the waterfall was like the continuous crackling of thunder. Endless water vapor formed dense fog that shrouded a vast range of the surroundings. The reason for the formation of this river was because of Bo Qing's attempt to break through to rank 9. Falling Heavenly River smashed open an inland river that opened a channel that flowed through the entirety of Central Continent, towards the eastern side of Central Continent, and into Eastern Sea. Even the merging of two heavens only reduced the size of Falling Heavenly River slightly. It was still a majestic sight to behold. After taking Profound Jade Snake Cave, Fang Yuan arrived at the source of Falling Heavenly River. After a while, Falling Heavenly River's size shrank to 60%. This 60% Falling Heavenly River was stored inside Sovereign Immortal Aperture. The water level of the inland river at the source of falling heavenly river fell by thousands of feet. The water surface at the middle and lower stream of falling heavenly river began to reduce rapidly and expose the river bed, causing negative influences on the surrounding plants, crops, temperature, mortal habitats, and so on. Fang Yuan left falling heavenly river and arrived at Spirit Bank Spring. This was a super resource point that belonged to Ancient Soul sect, which had once sent Yang Feng to guard this place but was still plundered by forgotten Daoist. But now, Yang Feng had already followed Ancient Soul sect to enter Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan easily dismantled the Immortal Formation and took Spirit Bank Spring away. After Spirit Bank Spring was Pot River. This river resembled a long jade belt. It was situated in the eastern area of central continent. The riverbank was filled with willow trees and gentle breeze. The water in Pot River was smooth flowing, like a beautiful song. It was graceful and harmonious. There was a lot of pot grass growing in Pot River. Wind Cloud Manor was in charge of Pot River and held a festival around Pot River every year. But not long later, Pot River along with its river channel was moved into the Immortal Aperture by Fang Yuan. That even if there were to be Pot River festivals in the future, they could only be held inside the sovereign Immortal Aperture. After Pot River was Hidden Dragon Cave. Hidden Dragon Cave had once imprisoned the legendary immemorial desolate beast Di Zongxing. There were very large numbers of scale enslavement path and rule path Dao marks here. There was also the remnants of the huge Immortal Gu formation that Heavenly Court set up here. It had a huge reference value to most formation path Gu immortals. After Hidden Dragon Cave was put into the sovereign Immortal Aperture, Fang Yuan moved to Lake Heart Mountain. It was definitely an outstanding place to be chosen as the encampment of one of the 10 great ancient sects. Lake Heart Mountain was a super resource point by itself. Not only did it contain Secret Inheritance Peak, Lesser Cold Peak, Affection Peak, Fierce Fire Peak, Heavenly Flowers Peak, and other peaks, it also had Fairy Life Tablet Hall, Time Path Cultivation Immortal Formation, and other facilities. Naturally, Life Tablet Gu was already taken from the Fairy Life Tablet Hall. The Time Path Cultivation Immortal Formation's Immortal Gu were also taken away. But these facilities were mostly intact. They could be used after repairing. Soon, Lake Heart Mountain became a scenic spot within the sovereign Immortal Aperture. After Lake Heart Mountain was Mountain Tortoise Valley, then Imprisonment Valley, Red River Beach, 100 Segment Forest, Scale Light River, Earth Chi Rock Forest, Quiet Rain Valley. Fang Yuan looted wantonly. He did not hold back at all. Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects had left. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was holed up in Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan had no obstructions. His looting efficiency was extremely high. If Giant Sun Immortal Venerable wanted to relocate these resource points, he had to use luck path methods or blood path methods to imitate other paths and put in a lot of effort to move them. Fang Yuan had the sovereign immortal body which had non-conflicting Dao marks, so he could use methods of all paths. Earth path was more suitable to relocate caves and caverns. Wood path methods were appropriate to plunder forests. Another point was that Fang Yuan had a lot of Immortal Gu in his reserves. Putting rank 9 Immortal Gu aside, refining rank 8 Immortal Gu was as easy as drinking water to him. Resource points were looted one after the other. The essence of the whole central continent was being plundered by him and his appetite showed no signs of being full. There were some resource points which Fang Yuan could not obtain completely for the moment. For instance, Sorrowful Wind Mountain Range. The mountain range was extremely range. Fang Yuan could not relocate the whole mountain range in a short period. He could easily take 1 or 2 mountain peaks, but the mountain range was a long stretch. It could not be compared to 1 or 2 mountain peaks. Another example was Hairy Foot Mountain. Hairy Foot Mountain once held infallible blessed land. Fang Yuan had came to this place first, but it was already destroyed by Heavenly Court. There was also Reincarnation Battlefield. This was the battlefield killer move that was personally set up by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. It was famous in history and was publicly recognized as the #1 battlefield killer move since ancient times. Fang Yuan had carefully observed it before leaving directly. It was not that he could not take it, but it required careful study and deductions. This required a lot of time and effort. Moreover, the specific time required was difficult to be estimated. Fang Yuan had a lot of experience in looting, so his actions were extremely efficient. He left 40% of Falling Heavenly River. It was not because he was willing to leave it behind, but he would have to spend more time and effort to take it. And it was better to loot other places than waste time here. Central Continent fell into an unprecedented state of unrest. There was no such unrest and chaos even during the Fate War. The Fate War was mainly the war of Gu immortals. Heavenly Court and Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects defended their positions. But now that the Gu immortals of Heavenly Court and Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects were all holed up inside Heavenly Court, Central Continent became an unguarded place. Fang Yuan did not conceal his action of looting and relocating resource points. Every time he moved, it would cause a huge commotion that was noticed by others, and his actions enticed others as well. The Grand Venerable is eating meat, but we should be able to drink the remaining soup, right? Even if it is just one mouthful, it is enough for us to be full. This is Central Continent. The 10 great ancient sects have all moved away. This opportunity won't come again. The 5 regional walls were gone, so the other 4 regions Gu immortals began to move. After them were Central Continent's few demonic path Gu immortals and lone immortals, then finally were Central Continent's righteous path Gu immortals. Central Continent's righteous path did not consist of just the 10 great ancient sects. There were many other super forces, for instance, Great Heavenly Sword Sect, Lightning Information Sect, Demon Expelling Sect, and so on. Naturally, these righteous path forces moved with the excuse of defending Central Continent and helping Heavenly Court. These people did not dare to appear in front of Fang Yuan, but Central Continent was huge and had a lot of resource points. Many resource points could not catch Fang Yuan's eye or were positioned towards the end of the looting plan. These areas became the target of the Gu immortals. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture was also in chaos. Gu immortals were so busy that their heads were spinning. There had never been such a moment when resource points were moved in on such a large scale. This was simply like a flood of resources, unceasing and endless. The most crucial point was that super resource points could be found everywhere and were the majority. Even the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's Gu immortals were shaken to the core. Master is mighty, he is looting the whole of Central Continent. This is a venerable's might, this is our Lord Fang Yuan. Great, Lord Chi Sea was captured by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Even if Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives, they will only be welcomed by a barren Central Continent. The first Wind Vein Ring is completed. The second Light Vein Ring is finished. Dark Path has also completed the first ring. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture's time flow was very different from the 5 regions outside world. All kinds of Dao veins were constructed rapidly: Metal Path, Light Path, Dark Path, Poison Path, Rule Path, Enslavement Path, Transformation Path. Gu immortals worked day and night, squeezing out all their energy and constantly visiting Liver Life Hall. Now and then, someone would reach the limits and their liver would explode, but it was not an issue. Many healing halls were constructed around the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. In an instant, many of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's Gu immortals became like UZ, choosing to use the saltwater liver plan. As the saying went, humans needed windfalls to get rich, while horses needed extra grass to grow healthy. Fang Yuan's costless looting made his Sovereign Immortal Aperture's development achieve an unprecedented and terrifying efficiency. Central Continent was surrounded by 4 regions but was also a region with rich resources, second only to Eastern Sea. Eastern Sea had more water path resources, but Central Continent had resources of all kinds. Central Continent was developed by Heavenly Court for over 3 million years. Its development had reached the limits. Almost all the immortal level resource points were developed to some extent. These all became Fang Yuan's targets. Many Dao veins were completed almost at one go in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. This was a huge boost to the stability of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Thus, even though the Sovereign Immortal Aperture annexed so many resource points, because of the Dao veins, it became much more stable instead. With such a foundation, Fang Yuan could begin absorbing the primordial domain in Treasure Yellow Heaven and annexing blessed lands everywhere. He had stored the primordial domain in Treasure Yellow Heaven all along. There was no need to lie low now and he could start absorbing it. There were many blessed lands everywhere in Central Continent. For instance, flowing silver blessed land that was revealed because of the Chi tides, who immortal blessed land that Fang Yuan gave up in the past, or star form blessed land, and so on. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-26, Giant Sun Retreats. Chapter 23-26, Giant Sun Retreats. Star constellation, is the rumor in Treasure Yellow Heaven true? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable fought against Spectral Soul Demon Venerable while contacting Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and questioning. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable replied casually, "This is Fang Yuan's scheme to waver your determination." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable dodged Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's attack while probing, "Right now, Fang Yuan is plundering Central Continent, why aren't you stopping him? If you are willing to give up on Central Continent's resources, why don't you come and deal with Spectral Soul Demon Venerable alongside me? Aren't you the one who wants to eradicate Spectral Soul the most?" Star Constellation Immortal Venerable gave an excuse, "Since you are in a bind, I will come and help you after I heal myself." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable heaved a long sigh, "Star Constellation, you are truly good at scheming. I am impressed." He was a venerable, after seeing that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable hid inside Heavenly Court without any intention of coming out after capturing Chi Sea Ancestor, even giving up Central Continent's resources and recalling the Gu immortals of the 10 great ancient sects, he guessed the truth. What could make the Grand Heavenly Court and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable make such a sacrifice? The revival of a venerable. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was silent, she did not respond. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had to retreat, he no longer fought against Spectral Soul Demon Venerable but transmitted to Fang Yuan instead, "Fang Yuan, I can't lure Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to come out. If Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives, it will be over." Sigh, thinking about it, there were signs alluding to this earlier. Do you remember the battle in Crazed Demon Cave? Back then, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable cooperated with me to pressure you but she made a mistake and lost the opportunity. The reason was because you used Chi Sea Ancestor as a shield, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable held back. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, replying, "Star Constellation Immortal Venerable is truly the #1 wisdom path in the world throughout history. It is normal that my wisdom path attainment is inferior to her. But what is the point of saying that now? We need to ally now and attack Heavenly Court to have a chance of turning the situation around." Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did his best to withdraw. He only dodged Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's attacks as he pulled apart the distance between them while thinking to himself. He frowned deeply and considered the situation rapidly. It seemed that he was the biggest loser in the battle over the Heaven Path Dream Realms. Fang Yuan obtained the Heaven Path Dream Realms and lost Chi Sea Ancestor, but he obtained a lot of resources plundered from Central Continent. Although Star Constellation Immortal Venerable lost Central Continent's resources, she obtained Chi Sea Ancestor. If she could revive Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable successfully, she would be the biggest winner. By then, even if all of Central Continent were to be slaughtered by Fang Yuan, they would still be the winner. Another venerable would change the situation fundamentally. No matter how much manpower or resources Central Continent lost, it was only temporary. They were completely different concepts. Even a fool would know which choice was more important. As long as Heavenly Court's 2 venerables cooperated, they would easily suppress Fang Yuan, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, or Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. It would be basically impossible for Fang Yuan, Giant Sun, or Spectral Soul to refine natural Dao marks. If Heavenly Court sent out both venerables to attack them, they would need to retreat, they could not undergo the process of natural Dao mark refinement. Conversely, as long as Heavenly Court sent out a venerable to stall them, the other person could refine natural Dao marks using that time. As time passes, Heavenly Court's advantage would accumulate quicker. By the time they refine all the natural Dao marks of the 5 regions, the other venerables would be cornered. Of course, in this situation, Giant Sun, Fang Yuan, and Spectral Soul would have to work together. But could their alliance match the cooperation of Heavenly Court's venerables? Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was not sane now. The main cooperation would lie with Giant Sun and Fang Yuan. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not trust either of them. It would not work. Be it their cooperation level or fundamental beliefs, such differences would be magnified in a battle of life and death. Not only that, Heavenly Court even had a 3rd venerable in history, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. If 2 other venerables were alive, the 3rd venerable, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable, would have a much easier time reviving. Thus, Heavenly Court has finally reached its most crucial turning point. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was clear about this fact. This was like the backlash Fang Yuan faced from the Venerables when he refined rank 9 Gu earlier. If he survived it, he would experience a qualitative change and obtain the upper hand. In the future, no matter what he did, the difficulty would be much smaller. The reason why the Venerables were in a deadlock was because they had all just revived and were at the same starting point, or rather, their differences were minuscule. But if another Venerable from Heavenly Court revived, this balance would be broken. Even if Giant Sun and Fang Yuan worked together, they could not match Heavenly Court. If we can't stop Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, this will be the crucial moment where Heavenly Court regains its domination of the world and defeats the other Venerables. Knowing this, after learning that Chi Sea was captured in Heavenly Court, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's standpoint changed completely. He contacted Fang Yuan and created a plan to pretend that he was still fighting against Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. It is a pity that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable has a clear grasp of the human heart. I can't lure her to come outside. If Star Constellation Immortal Venerable were in Central Continent, there would still be hope. After all, her advantage in Central Continent was not as large as being physically in Heavenly Court. But Star Constellation Immortal Venerable hid inside and refused to come outside no matter what. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was helpless in this situation. Truly, a top schemer could achieve victory without even participating in battle. At the crucial moment, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not try to fight. She was unaffected by the burden of Heavenly Court's reputation and other factors, bearing the huge pressure of sacrificing and giving up Central Continent's people to make the right choice. Luck Inspection. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was indignant. He used his luck inspection method. The results were disappointing. Heavenly Court's luck was above everyone else. It was still showing signs of rising. Be it Giant Sun, Fang Yuan, or Spectral Soul, they were all suppressed by Heavenly Court's luck. Other than that, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not see any huge variables that could influence the situation. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, why are you still hesitating? Fang Yuan's voice was transmitted again. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable sighed. Fang Yuan, we've lost, accept the fact. We will need to exert a lot of effort to enter Heavenly Court. Even if we get in, we are unable to cooperate sincerely. How can we be Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's match? We won't succeed even with Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Attacking rashly will cause us to fall into Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's trap. Our strength will dwindle. In my opinion, we should preserve our strength for a future opportunity. Fang Yuan snorted coldly as he replied in displeasure. How can I accept this without even trying? Star Constellation Immortal Venerable is the #1 wisdom path expert. She had such ease in plotting against us. If Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives, she will have an even easier time. How can we deal with a wisdom path Gu Immortal? We need to exterminate them. We cannot give a wisdom path Gu Immortal any time to make arrangements. Our current situation is the best proof of this. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable asked in response, then in your opinion, what should we do now? Fang Yuan gritted his teeth. Plunder Central Continent and slaughter the people. I don't believe that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable will let it happen. Even if she can, after Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives, he will only gain a barren region. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable shook his head. Such an act was too brutal and demonic. It did not suit his nature. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had his reservations. If he did this, when Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable retaliate by slaughtering the Huang Jin tribes, what would he do? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had another thought. Fang Yuan wants me to stand on the same side as him. If I participate in slaughtering the people of Central Continent, there will be no way of reconciling with Heavenly Court. My demonic path status will be permanent. Without any reconciliation, there would be no room for a truce. The pressure of two venerables would weigh on his shoulders. He was not like Fang Yuan, who was cold and unconcerned with his subordinates' lives. I have longevity heaven as my base. Even if all three venerables of Heavenly Court revive, I can still defend myself. This is my foundation for a negotiation. But Fang Yuan is all alone. He has no such base. This is a huge problem to him, thus, he wants me to join him. If I do not participate in this, in the future, Heavenly Court will target Fang Yuan as their priority. I will have more time to cultivate. It is still not the time to go all in now. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable thought of this and rejected Fang Yuan's proposal. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not want to offend Fang Yuan. He explained, I can't bring myself to do such a thing like killing all the people. I'll advise you not to do this personally, there's a more suitable person. I'll lure him to you now. Coward! Fang Yuan shouted, all you care about is useless reputation. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not show any anger. He understood why Fang Yuan was feeling upset and angry after getting schemed against. He lured Spectral Soul Demon Venerable to Fang Yuan, who landed in Central Continent in response. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was not like Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, he did not let Fang Yuan down. After leaving Spectral Heaven, he went into Central Continent and started his massacre. This was within the expectations of Fang Yuan and Giant Sunday. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's injuries were severe, but he could heal himself by slaughtering lifeforms and hunting soul beasts to increase his strength. He had done this in Spectral Heaven earlier. Now, the situation was similar. Heavenly Court. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had been paying attention to the two Venerables' actions. After seeing that Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was killing all the lifeforms in Central Continent, she sighed deeply. But after seeing that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable left Central Continent to return to Northern Plains, her eyes shone brightly as joy filled her heart. The Heavenly Court Gu Immortals could not understand why. Even if Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not want to invade Heavenly Court, he would at least ransack Central Continent for some resources, right? But he left directly. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was clear of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's intention. She spoke to Golden Hooped Great Immortal, your effort back then has finally paid off. This is the best result for us. In the past, Golden Hooped Great Immortal had invited Giant Sun Immortal Venerable to tour Heavenly Court and wanted to recruit him to become their fourth Immortal King. His plan failed and even allowed Giant Sun Immortal Venerable to leave a luck path method as a backdoor to Heavenly Court, causing them huge losses during the Fate War. But in fact, the truth was that Golden Hooped Great Immortal's action had a certain impact on Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. In his heart, Heavenly Court had once tried to recruit him, they even tried to make him their leader. In that case, there was a possibility of negotiating with them to come to a peaceful truce. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-27, Primordial Origins Revival. Chapter 23-27, Primordial Origins Revival. After hearing Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's words, many of the Gu Immortals gained some realization. Now it seems that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable is still a righteous path person in essence. He is indeed quite different from Fang Yuan, be it in terms of action or ideology. Fang Yuan is brutal and casually sacrifices his subordinates, he treats everything as his tool. But Giant Sun Immortal Venerable is different, he cares for his descendants and is someone with deep kinship. In my opinion, he has far greater foresight than Fang Yuan. If he acts like Fang Yuan, he will have no chance of appeasing Heavenly Court, he will be our mortal enemy. Thus, he has already started planning to express his goodwill towards Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. From what I see, this is all Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's plan. She did everything to defend Heavenly Court and allowed Fang Yuan to ransack Central Continent. The truth is, I was quite unhappy about it. But now, it seems that this was only part of her plan, it managed to make Giant Sun leave Central Continent of his own accord. This is an incredible outcome. Sigh, I should not have tried to evaluate Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's wisdom with my shallow view. Chi Sea Ancestor's eyes were shut, he was motionless like a statue, floating quietly in Heavenly Court. Above his head, Star Constellation chessboard orbited and released a pale blue light that enveloped his body. After some preparation, the entrance of Chi Sea Ancestor's immortal aperture started to open, the immortals cheered loudly. Afterwards, Rank 8 Heaven Chi Immortal Gu flew out of his immortal aperture first. After that was Earth Chi Immortal Gu, followed by various Chi Path Immortal Gu. The immortals were in a commotion. Even though Chi Sea Ancestor is strong, against Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, he is only meat on the chopping block. Self-detonating Immortal Gu is so easy, but right now, the pseudo-venerable Chi Sea Ancestor has been completely controlled by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. He can't even do something as simple as self-detonating his Immortal Gu. Once Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable revives, these Chi Path Immortal Gu will allow him to recover a portion of his strength. Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable has truly planned it perfectly. The Immortals praised in succession. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had clearly suppressed Chi Sea Ancestor completely. She controlled his mind and used her thoughts to replace his. Thus, she was able to open the Immortal Aperture's entrance and suppress all of the Gu worms inside. Of course, these Chi Path Gu worms still belonged to Chi Sea Ancestor. They were filled with his will. It was much more difficult for Star Constellation Immortal Venerable to get rid of his will than controlling Chi Sea Ancestor's mind directly. These Immortal Gu did not have a mind. To get rid of their lingering will of Chi Sea, the best solution would be to directly refine these Chi Path Immortal Gu. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not plan to do that. She only suppressed these Immortal Gu and prevented them from self-detonating. She kept them for her master, Primordial Origin, to deal with personally. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable was a Chi Path Gu cultivator. It was better for him to deal with these Chi Path Immortal Gu. After all the Immortal Gu were retrieved, it was time for the secluded domain of heaven and earth, Hu Land. Once Hu Land appeared in front of everyone, Heavenly Court erupted with an intense wave of cheers. This was a Chi Path secluded domain of heaven and earth. It was spoils of battle comparable to rank 9 Immortal Gu. Chi Sea Ancestors who elevation killer move used Hu Land as the core. A secluded domain of heaven and earth was very hard to destroy. It was much easier to obtain than Immortal Gu. Since Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could even suppress Chi Sea Ancestors Immortal Gu, obtaining Hu Land was a natural thing. With this secluded domain of heaven and earth, even if Master has no rank 9 Immortal Gu in his treasury, he can still display the might of Chi Path. While feeling satisfied, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not forget to inspect these Immortal Gu and the secluded domain of heaven and earth. Fang Yuan was vigilant, so was she. Even in Heavenly Court, she was not being careless at all. After using all her methods to inspect them over 100 times, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable confirmed that these Immortal Gu and the secluded domain of heaven and earth were not tampered with. Afterwards, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable placed these loot into the Immortal Formation and suppressed them. This was her final step of precaution. Fang Yuan was a refinement path venerable. He might have some methods that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could not decipher. But with these loot being suppressed in the Immortal Formation, even if Fang Yuan's method activated, it would be detected by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable immediately. She would have time to counter them. Even if Fang Yuan has any method that I have not detected, it is not a big deal. I can suppress anything with the Immortal Formation. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was filled with confidence regarding this. Back then, she had even used He Feng Yang to undergo Immortal Gu transactions with Fang Yuan. Was she not afraid of Fang Yuan tampering with them? Of course she had such worries. But the concern was quite small. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was confident in noticing Fang Yuan's methods. Other venerables like Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would also have such confidence. Their confidence was not baseless. Refinement Path was too broadly cultivated in the whole world. The advantage was that Refinement Path developed immensely. Many Refinement Path Gu worms could advance to rank 9. The weakness was that everyone knew how to refine Gu. They had a certain understanding of Refinement Path. Heavenly Court had existed for 3 million years, while Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was a Wisdom Path Venerable. How could she not know the refinement method of fake Gu? Such an action was common in the Mortal Gu Master world. If Fang Yuan made fake Gu, even if Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not cultivate Refinement Path, she would notice it. Of course, if Fang Yuan had sufficient time to develop, star constellation Immortal Venerable would not dare to take a risk in this aspect. She would be incredibly cautious towards any Immortal Gu that Fang Yuan had contacted. After Chi Sea Ancestor's Immortal Gu and Hu Land were taken out, star constellation Immortal Venerable took out various resource points from Chi Sea's Immortal Aperture. Most of the Chi Path resource points were kept inside. The ones that were taken out had one similarity: they all had a lot of non-Chi Path Dao marks. After finishing this, star constellation Immortal Venerable started to use her killer moves. She had created these Wisdom Path killer moves herself, nobody else knew of them except her. After more than 10 killer moves were used, Chi Sea Ancestor's Immortal Aperture and mind started to break down, all sorts of Chi Path resource points and his entire body started to turn into Chi currents. A massive number of Chi currents were gathered together, forming into the vague shape of a Chi harvest fruit. Star constellation Immortal Venerable's eyes shone with brilliance and wisdom. She used 3 killer moves consecutively, eliminating Chi Sea Ancestor's will, thoughts, and remaining emotions in the Chi harvest fruit. Chi Sea Ancestor's soul was taken out and kept in the Immortal Gu House Soul Suppression Hall. This Immortal Gu House was once used to hold Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. It was too easy to contain Chi Sea's soul now. The Chi harvest fruit slowly stabilized. Star constellation Immortal Venerable stopped her various Wisdom Path methods, carefully drawing star constellation chessboard away from the location. Even without star constellation Immortal Venerable's support, the Chi harvest fruit was becoming clearer and more stable. Star constellation Immortal Venerable inspected it carefully and relaxed. As she had expected, the Chi harvest fruit was in sync with Primordial Origin's methods now. She did not need to do anything else. She could not interfere anymore or it could be an issue. After all, there were conflicting Dao marks. She cultivated Wisdom Path and Star Path, not Chi Path. The best situation was to allow Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's methods to activate and trigger his revival. After 3 million years, Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's methods are still effective. I am truly in admiration. There are no issues left. Lord Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's revival is imminent. It was my fault. The newly revived Qin Ding Ling came over and said with an expression of guilt, if I was not muddled and let Chi Sea Ancestor take Heavenly Court's Chi harvest fruit, the first Venerable to revive would have been Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable. Everyone consoled her upon hearing this. Even Star Constellation Immortal Venerable looked over at her. Qin Ding Ling, no need to blame yourself. You are not a Wisdom Path Gu Immortal. While Fang Yuan is extremely crafty and has even deceived the world, it was not your fault that you failed to deduce Chi Sea Ancestor's true identity. Even I would make mistakes sometimes. The important thing is that you learn from your mistakes and grow. You must continue to look forward bravely. That is the true behavior that we should follow. We will remember Lady Immortal Venerable's teachings. The immortals responded in unison. The Chi harvest fruit soon grew to the size of a mountain. Chi Sea Ancestor's Chi Path Foundation was converted into the Chi harvest fruit. After it stabilized, it was even larger than the one that Fang Yuan made back then. As time passed, the Chi harvest fruit continued to grow stronger. In the past, the Heavenly Court immortals would be terrified of this scene. But now, they looked towards the Chi harvest fruit with anticipation and excitement. Primordial Origin's revival process, which had been interrupted by Fang Yuan in the past, was restarting now. Not long after, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable frowned. She noticed that the Chi harvest fruit's growth was slowing down. Something is wrong. She quickly inspected. The entire inspection process was slow and careful. She did not want a powerful investigative method to affect Primordial Origin's revival process. The Heavenly Court Wisdom Path Dao marks that she refined were very useful in this case. She soon found the reason. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable had left many methods in Heavenly Court that were related to his revival. For example, the Primordial Chi Wall. Master's plan must have been to use the Chi harvest fruit from the Chi tides to revive himself. He arranged all sorts of Chi path methods in Heavenly Court as a form of assurance. When the Chi harvest fruit lacks nutrients, these Chi path methods would be used to supplement it. However, because of the various battles that occurred, these Chi path methods were greatly expended. Thus, its growth was slowed now. Star constellation Immortal Venerable had no way to make these chi path methods recover to their original state. But after thinking about it, she quickly found a replacement method. After all, these chi path methods were meant to support the chi harvest fruit's growth. Star constellation Immortal Venerable immediately ordered for all of Heavenly Court's chi path immortal materials to be taken out while she made deductions. Not long after, her expression turned pale, she was covered in perspiration, but she produced a chi path immortal formation. The foundation of this chi path formation were the chi path methods from primordial origin. It was quickly completed under Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's arrangements. Afterwards, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable placed a large number of chi path immortal materials into the immortal formation. As the chi path immortal formation activated, it was quickly reduced into all sorts of chi currents that were condensed together, before being instilled into the chi harvest fruit through primordial origins arrangements. After the boost of nutrients, the chi harvest fruit started to grow rapidly again. But this did not last long. Heavenly Court storage of chi path immortal materials was quickly expended, they were about to run dry again. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-28, Explosion. Chapter 23-28, Explosion. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable saw the issue, the chi path immortal materials were insufficient, her expression turned dim. Heavenly Court's foundation had finally hit rock bottom. In fact, when she set up the star array calculation formation and nurtured the immemorial star beasts, she had already expended all of Heavenly Court's star path resources. Recently, Heavenly Court's members revived continuously, the remaining immortal graveyard was also consumed until only a small area was left, it could no longer allow any Gu immortal to revive. Heavenly Court had developed for 3 million years, it had incomparable foundation, but after several huge battles, the expenditure was severe. When Spectral Soul Demon Venerable escaped from Heavenly Court, he ransacked the immortal treasury. They had to use their secret storage and even subtly draw resources from the 10 great ancient sects. Until today, Heavenly Court was already showing signs of exhausting its foundation. Of course, the main reason why they were out of chi path resources was because the immortal material expenditure was just too high. In Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's original plan, the chi harvest fruit would primarily grow using the chi tides, the chi path methods he left behind would only be a failsafe in case any unexpected mishaps occurred. The chi tides were crucial in growing the chi harvest fruit. But now, the chi tides had ended and the chi path's methods were not completely intact, they had to expend chi path immortal materials instead. It was obvious that the more chi path immortal materials they expended, the larger the chi harvest fruit would become, and the stronger Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable would be after reviving. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable made deductions again. She used her full strength in doing this, countless thoughts collided in her mind until she felt a sharp headache, but she eventually deduced another killer move. After testing it, she modified the killer move slightly. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's breathing was quite rough and her expression was pale, she opened the entrance of Heavenly Court at the next moment. Before any other Venerable reacted, she aimed her killer move at the entrance. Heavenly Court's entrance was immediately covered by a layer of profound light as it rapidly drew in heaven and earth chi from the outside world. The heaven and earth chi were vast and boundless, they entered through the entrance with unceasing momentum and flowed into the immortal formation. The heaven and earth chi were not of high quality but could compensate with quantity. With this supplement, the growth of the chi harvest fruit was no longer an issue. The Heavenly Court immortals were shocked, they quickly discussed. Why did Lady Star Constellation Immortal Venerable open the entrance of Heavenly Court? This is a good thing, the stronger the chi harvest fruit, the more powerful Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's chi path foundation will be after revival. What if Fang Yuan attacks using this chance? Didn't he try to attack earlier, losing to Lady Star Constellation's divine might? Will he dare to come again? Fang Yuan did not show up indeed. Not only that, even Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was not paying attention to them. He ravaged Central Continent and slaughtered countless beings, his injuries recovered by a large extent. Soul fog surged, wherever it went, verdant mountains turned gray and flowers wilted, wild beast corpses were lying all over the place. As his soul howl was used, huge waves appeared on the lakes. Afterwards, corpses of aquatic animals like fish or shrimps floated to the surface. A vast number of souls were devoured by spectral soul demon Venerable. He was like a huge black hole that devoured everything he slaughtered. His injuries were healed and his body expanded again. During this process, a wild immortal Gu was created in spectral soul demon Venerable's body. Rank 8 Immortal Gu, kill. This caused a considerable commotion that drew the attention of Fang Yuan, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. At once, the three Venerables had strange expressions. They knew about a secret of the past. Back then, Spectral Soul wanted to create Killing Path, but in the end he failed. After devouring Black Heaven's heavenly spirit, he was forced to create Soul Path instead. But to think that he showed signs of creating Killing Path now while he was not sane. Immortal Gu Kill was clearly the core Immortal Gu of Killing Path. It was not formed so easily. This was a Gu refinement undergone by the heavenly Tao. Most importantly, it was refined in spectral soul demon Venerable's body. This meant that although he was currently not sane, he was quite close to creating Killing Path. Killing Path is already showing signs of emerging. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had already returned to Northern Plains. He immediately ordered the Huangjin tribe Gu immortals who were headed to Central Continent to not get near spectral soul demon Venerable. They should not be greedy with super resource points, also avoiding heaven refining demon Venerable. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not personally plunder Central Continent's resource points, but he did not give up. He sent his bloodline descendants. This way, even if Heavenly Court pursued the matter, he had a degree of distance and could give excuses. Giant Sun, if you come and cooperate with me, I'll give you half of the Central Continent resource points that I plunder. Fang Yuan transmitted again. He did not give up on convincing Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable rejected with an increasingly firm attitude. On one hand, he felt that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would not expose a weakness. This outcome was already decided. There was no point in joining hands with Fang Yuan. On the other hand, he had his own reservations. Firstly, his eldest son Yu Tianguang was taken away by Yu Tianguang in Longevity Heaven. He needed to look for his son. Secondly, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had already used I reside in all living beings in heaven and earth twice in a short period. This move had a huge drawback. It would leave him in a weakened state for some time that he had to conceal himself and secretly get through this weakened period. If he exposed this weakness, the killer move's value and usability would fall immensely in the future. Heavenly Court. The Chi harvest fruit continued to grow larger. The vast amount of heaven and earth Chi, countless Chi path immortal materials, as well as methods like the primordial Chi wall, were all turned into Chi path Tao marks that were added into the Chi harvest fruit. At the core of the Chi harvest fruit, a human-shaped core was formed. As time passed, the core's features became clearer. It was increasingly human-like. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable saw this and immediately comprehended that Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's revival method contained the profundity of human path. To think that Master's human path attainment is even higher than I thought. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable smiled faintly as memories surfaced in her mind. In his bed, Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable suddenly coughed out blood. Master, how are you? Star Constellation quickly came over and used her methods to heal him. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable had just blocked a chaotic disaster and fixed the hole in the world. He was heavily injured and could barely get up. Star Constellation did her best to stabilize his injuries. She had a look of surprise. She found that Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable aggravated the injuries purely as a result of his own actions. Star Constellation frowned deeply. Master, you suffered such heavy injuries and can't even walk now, yet you still took a risk to create a killer move. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable had a look of joy. These injuries are not an issue, my disciple. I succeeded. I grasped onto that inspiration and created a human path killer move. Using this move, we can use the immortal aperture to extend the lifespan of Gu immortals. Among all the existing lifespan extension methods, my newly created method is the most effective. Star Constellation looked at the content and had a gaze of surprise. Light flickered in her eyes as she understood the true value of this killer move. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable laughed loudly. With this method, we will not need to force human Gu immortal experts to join our heavenly court. The temptation of lifespan extension is too great. From now on, as long as they contribute their immortal aperture to Heavenly Court, they will become members of Heavenly Court. They will get to use this human path killer move to extend their lifespan. Star Constellation nodded. She was joyous as well. Master, what is the name of this killer move? Cough, cough. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable coughed before saying nonchalantly, the name is not important, you can decide it for me, just make one up. Star Constellation quickly answered, she loved to name things. She added, we need to give it an awesome name, it should draw people's attention. Let me think about it. My good disciple, go and think of the name. I am too old now, I don't have the creativity anymore. After you decide, let me know. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable rested in bed and waved his hand to Star Constellation. Star Constellation nodded and said solemnly, Master, you must not take such risks again, your injuries are too severe this time. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable laughed to himself, these injuries are nowhere near my limit. I've once suffered even greater injuries, you know it too, there has been at least 5 of such instances. Star Constellation stared angrily, you are already 25,000 years old, you need to admit you are old. You've already done enough for humanity, since you are injured, you need to recuperate. I will lead Heavenly Court. Ha ha ha, with you around, what worries do I have? Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable laughed as his voice became softer, he showed an expression of dejectedness, maybe, I should really admit that I am too old. You want? Star Constellation shook her head, she showed an expression of knowing her master very well but being helpless against his antics. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable laughed after seeing her expression, while she was taking her leave, he even winked at her playfully. Star Constellation took care of Primordial Origin, who was recuperating while handling Heavenly Court's affairs. In her free time, she thought of the name of the human path killer move to relax her mind. Star Constellation was busy for 3 days, after that, she finally had some insight about the name of the human path killer move. But she did not know that she would not have a chance to tell Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable about this name anymore. When she freed herself from her busy work and went to visit Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, she saw that he was lying on the bed quietly, his eyes were shut and his expression was plain, there was only a faint smile at the corners of lips. This legendary leader of humanity, the first-generation immortal king of Heavenly Court, the person who held up the banner of humanity's retaliation and forced all the variant human forces to hide themselves, had passed away. He died calmly. Peacefully. Relieved. His disciple was the reason why he was relieved. The moment Star Constellation saw Primordial Origin again, she realized. Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's injuries were extremely severe, he had only purposely concealed the fact. He was making considerations for the big picture. After all, although the variant humans retreated from Central Continent, they were still rampant in the other 4 regions. Even in Central Continent, many variant human forces hid in their blessed lands and grotto heavens, they could not be found. He knew his injuries could not be healed, using the last of his strength, he painstakingly created a human path killer move to aid the future development of Heavenly Court. Star Constellation stood in front of Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's bed and kept silent for a long time. Eventually, she spoke in a hoarse voice, Master, I've already thought of the name for this human path killer move. It suits this scenario quite well, I'll name it, Lying in Bed. Lying in bed was able to turn the immortal aperture that a Gu immortal contributed to Heavenly Court into a bed that was free from calamities and tribulations. It could also extend their lifespan to a great extent. Back in that era, it was the #1 lifespan extension method besides lifespan Gu. Afterwards, Star Constellation created another human path killer move on the foundation of this move, naming it, Others Sleep Soundly. Others sleep soundly allowed the heavenly court members to sleep on their respective beds and reduce their body activity and time flow to the lowest possible limit. At the same time, their will would be extracted and converted into human nature. 1. Opposite of heaven nature spectral soul is filled by c. 2265, to help star constellation immortal venerable resist heaven's will. After she assimilated with the Tao. At the final moments of his life, primordial origin immortal venerable lay in bed and contributed his final moments to the future of heavenly court and all of humanity. Star constellation immortal venerable did the same. In order to protect heavenly court, she sacrificed herself and became one with the Tao. This pair of master and disciple were truly of the same lineage. Lying in bed and others sleep soundly became the foundation of heavenly court's immortal graveyard. Within the Chi harvest fruit, the human-shaped core had already grown to the size of a normal human adult. There was a change in the Chi harvest fruit's skin as well. Countless primordial Chi walls formed and wrapped around the core of the Chi harvest fruit. Primordial origin immortal venerable's revival was already reaching the final steps. The methods displayed during this process made star constellation immortal venerable quite surprised. She gasped and sighed at the intricacy of primordial origin immortal venerable's Chi path methods. As time passed, a wave of grand aura permeated the Chi harvest fruit. The Chi path Tao marks that were created from heaven and earth Chi, along with the Chi path immortal materials, were added to the Chi harvest fruit continuously. The human-shaped Chi harvest fruit was already showing primordial origin immortal venerables form. Many central continent Gu immortals were currently kneeling. Heavenly Court's members had tears in their eyes, they were incredibly excited. He was the first venerable of the world among them, he was also the one with the longest lifespan. Without him, humanity would not have its current prosperity, he was the person who led the rise of the human race. He was the creator of Chi path and had left behind countless methods to defend heavenly court, including primordial Chi wall, lying in bed, and others. He had defeated countless variant human experts, he had suffered countless injuries, who knows how much blood he lost in the process. He created Emperor City, which was the incomplete form of Divine Emperor City. He was the first to contribute his immortal aperture, he gave up on the clan system and recruited disciples, he was the role model of Central Continent sect system. He worked his hardest and gave his life to heavenly court and all of humanity. Even the variant humans who hated him to the core had to admit that he was a grand existence. He was primordial origin immortal venerable. And today, he was going to return to this world. The Chi harvest fruit started to tremble as a grand aura leaked out, creating huge Chi waves. The entrance of heavenly court opened as this aura was exposed to the outside world. At once, within spectral heaven, Chi currents either fell, moved together like a storm, or even created all sorts of vortexes and whirlpools. A peculiar phenomenon was formed as the 5 regions went into an uproar. Primordial origin immortal venerable's revival was almost completed. Finally, star constellation immortal venerable let out a sigh of relief and knelt on one knee as she said, "This disciple pays respects to master." Within northern plains, giant sun immortal venerable sighed, the outcome was decided. Fang Yuan, however, stared at heavenly court that he frowned with a vague hint of anticipation and excitement in his eyes. At the next moment. Boom! Primordial origin immortal venerable, exploded. In northern plains, giant sun immortal venerable stood on the spot, he looked in the direction of heavenly court with uncontrollable shock on his face. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan had a faint smile. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 23-29, Fang Yuan's scheme to blow up heavenly court. Chapter 23-29, Fang Yuan's scheme to blow up heavenly court. This huge explosion was too sudden, it had occurred too fiercely. At once, wind soared and clouds dispersed, heaven and earth changed colors. Heavenly court shattered. A large number of grotto heaven fragments flew everywhere like a volcanic explosion. Only half of the immortal aperture entrance remained, there were all sorts of holes and gaps everywhere, exposed in spectral heaven. Dust and smoke rumbled, heavenly court could not be seen clearly now. An unknown number of Gu immortals had died. The only thing that could be confirmed was that the mountain-like Chi harvest fruit had dissipated entirely. I succeeded. In central continent, Fang Yuan looked in the direction of heavenly court and let out a breath of air. Long ago, he had already started to consider this issue. At that time, he was in a predicament with danger all around him. The sovereign immortal aperture's time flow was too fast. This forced Fang Yuan to undergo tribulations. Although he had used endless trouble multiple times to delay his tribulations, the chaotic disaster could not be skipped by this method. Once Fang Yuan underwent tribulation, he would need to place his sovereign immortal aperture in spectral heaven and open his immortal aperture's entrance for some time. This would expose a huge flaw and lure star constellation immortal venerable and giant sun immortal venerable to attack him. Even spectral soul demon venerable might come. Other than the danger of tribulation, Fang Yuan also felt hunger. This was the sovereign immortal body's hunger. The sovereign immortal body was created using sovereign immortal fetus Gu. The flaw was that it needed to consume an immortal aperture of the same rank as the Gu immortal once in a while. Now that Fang Yuan was a venerable, he would need to annex a rank 9 immortal aperture. These two crises made Fang Yuan extremely worried. As the saying went, if one did not have big worries, they would worry about smaller things. Fang Yuan had great foresight. He could also anticipate his future problems. Rather than leaving these issues to the future, he should start resolving them now. Fang Yuan did not have a passive nature. He enjoyed taking the initiative to launch the first attack and control the situation. Fang Yuan knew one of primordial origin. Fang Yuan knew one of primordial origin immortal venerables revival methods. The reason was simple. The killer move stealing heavenly secret. Back then, Fang Yuan used the immortal ascension of his Gu immortal seeds to experience natural inspiration and use stealing heavenly secret to inspect all the secrets within heavenly court. He knew the profundities contained in the Chi harvest fruit were meant to revive primordial origin immortal venerable. Even star constellation immortal venerable was unclear of the exact details regarding the Chi harvest fruit revival method. But Fang Yuan had a clear understanding of heavenly court. Along with his Chi path great grandmaster attainment level, he made deductions and research with wisdom Gu's help. Star constellation immortal venerable made arrangements within the star array calculation formation. Her methods were precise and meticulous. The intention was to use both embroidered tower and star constellation chessboard to capture a pseudo venerable. This arrangement was done secretly. Fang Yuan did not know of it. But he did not need to guess to know that star constellation immortal venerable would definitely try to revive primordial origin immortal venerable. If he were in her shoes, it was certain that he would prioritize in reviving the other two immortal kings of heavenly court. Things were difficult to do openly, but easy to do secretly. Once star constellation immortal venerable made a move, her every action would expose her intention. Heavenly Court had deep foundations. It was under the rule of 3 immortal kings. This was Heavenly Court's greatest strength, but to Fang Yuan, it also was their greatest weakness. Thus, Fang Yuan thought of sacrificing Chi Sea Ancestor to purposely lure star constellation immortal venerable into using the Chi harvest fruit revival method. Even if Chi Sea Ancestor was his clone, so what? For the goal of eternal life, what could he not sacrifice? For the sake of his grand ambition, would Fang Yuan be stingy on such a sacrifice? The plan to give up Chi Sea Ancestor and use him as bait to revive primordial origin immortal venerable was quite likely to succeed. But he needed a chance to send Chi Sea there. He could not do it openly. Star constellation immortal venerable was the #1 person in wisdom path. Fang Yuan had experienced her strength countless times. She often saw through his plans when they were still at their initial stage. There was a clear example previously with Fang clan. If he did it in a way that was too obvious, star constellation immortal venerable would notice and use the plan against him, causing Fang Yuan huge losses. Thus, he waited until the opportunity presented itself. Undoubtedly, the Heaven Path Dream Realms appeared at the best timing. For Fang Yuan's case, although the Heaven Path Dream Realms could raise his Heaven Path attainment level, he was not anxious to get them. As long as nobody could make use of these heaven path dream realms, he could continue to refine rank 9 immortal Gu secretly, to raise his strength and pull apart his distance from the other venerables. The longer this dragged on, the stronger Fang Yuan would become. But the contest over the heaven path dream realms became the best red herring to conceal his scheme to give up Chi Sea Ancestor to the enemy. Fang Yuan thought a lot about this, he made difficult choices. He could not act too willing, everything had to be logical. Star constellation Immortal Venerable's intelligence was unfathomable, she was too smart. But her wisdom was something that Fang Yuan could make use of. Thus, Fang Yuan sent Chi Sea Ancestor into the star array calculation formation and did not do anything excessive. Afterwards, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable personally helped Fang Yuan and completed the arrangements for him, capturing Chi Sea Ancestor. Throughout the process, Chi Sea Ancestor was kept in the dark by Fang Yuan, he was unaware. Not just him, Wu Shuai and Zhang Budu did not know either. It was like how Star Constellation Immortal Venerable deceived the 5 immortals from Heavenly Court regarding the plan to take Lin Jianxing's otherworldly sword path Dao marks. But Fang Yuan was even more ruthless, he even deceived himself. Giving up the Chi Sea clone was not enough, to assure Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, he even gave up the Chi Path Immortal Gu and Hulan. So what if he had to give up these Chi Path Immortal Gu? As long as he could achieve his goal, Fang Yuan could even give up rank 9 Immortal Gu. Hulan, was it just a secluded domain of heaven and earth? If it could deceive Star Constellation Immortal Venerable for some time, not to mention one secluded domain, he would even give up 3 if he had to. In Fang Yuan's eyes, the so-called Immortal Gu and secluded domain of heaven and earth, no matter how precious, were just tools for him to go after eternal life. Since they were tools, if there was value in sacrificing them, he would do it. Fang Yuan had no hesitation regarding this. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable only had a vague understanding of the Chi Harvest Fruit Revival method, but Fang Yuan knew it clearly. He was a refinement path venerable, he was also proficient at revival methods. From the perspective of refinement path, the Chi Harvest Fruit Revival method was just using the Chi Harvest Fruit as the main material, along with Primordial Origins arrangements in Heavenly Court, to create a new body and soul. Was it any different from Gu refinement in essence? No. In that case, Fang Yuan could make his arrangements. He first treated Chi Sea Ancestor as a Chi Path Immortal material and processed some steps in advance. Of course, the corresponding memories were already removed from Chi Sea Ancestor. It was like how Star Constellation Immortal Venerable altered the memories of the Gu immortals who entered the derivation formation. Chi Sea Ancestor's entire body was tampered with, but this was related to the peak profundities of refinement path. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable could not detect anything even after checking many times. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had refinement path attainment too, but Chi Sea Ancestor looked normal on the surface, there would only be issues after he was used as an immortal material for the Chi Harvest Fruit Revival method. And during the process of revival, the problem would intensify. But Star Constellation Immortal Venerable did not completely understand or control the Chi Harvest Fruit Revival process. This gave Fang Yuan many chances to take advantage of the situation. My plan succeeded, as for the gains, it will depend on future developments. Fang Yuan did not rush to attack Heavenly Court. He continued to plunder Central Continent while contacting Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Giant Sun, we are so lucky, a problem happened during Primordial Origins revival, Heavenly Court blew up instead. This is our best opportunity to strike, if we miss this and Heavenly Court recovers, we will regret not taking action for life. After seeing Heavenly Court's explosion, after a momentary shock, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable immediately thought of attacking Heavenly Court. After getting Fang Yuan's transmission, he became even more tempted. But he was hesitant now. Should I really attack Heavenly Court now? Did they really make a mistake? Is Fang Yuan behind this? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable thought of Fang Yuan's mysterious defensive method, he really could not see through this person that it was possible that Fang Yuan was behind this all along. Strange, why did I not sense this huge variable earlier when I used luck inspection on Heavenly Court? Unless Star Constellation Immortal Venerable used a method to conceal Heavenly Court and it stopped my luck inspection from working, that would really be ironic. The last thing that made Giant Sun Immortal Venerable hesitate was Light Emperor. His eldest son. As well as the wild rank 9 Light Gu in his immortal aperture. Light Emperor was kidnapped by the two legendary immemorial beasts, Yu Tian Guang and Zui Yi Hui. If Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not go to save him, he would be in danger. Of course, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable thought of his own blood. Since he could revive Light Emperor once, he could definitely do so again. Giant Sun is still hesitating. Did he notice anything? Fang Yuan saw that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was not taking any action. He started to ponder. Fang Yuan did not know about the secret behind Giant Sun and his son. He also did not know about the drawback of using the killer move, I reside in all living beings in heaven and earth. But he soon thought of a reason. With the explosion, Heavenly Court's losses cannot be assessed now. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's injuries are unclear as well. She has a huge territorial advantage inside Heavenly Court. She must not have gotten too injured, so she is still a threat. This may be Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's concern. In his opinion, my Chi Sea clone was captured and Heavenly Court suddenly exploded, which caused Primordial Origin's revival to fail, so I am the most suspicious one. At the same time, I should be the most nervous person. I do not have my own stronghold. If Heavenly Court's two venerables join hands, I will be in an even worse predicament. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable said the situation is unclear. He is hinting to me that I should make a move first. If Heavenly Court is truly weakened, he will come and join in the fight to steal some benefits himself. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable chose to wait and observe. This made Fang Yuan's plan fall short. In fact, attacking Heavenly Court now was abrupt and contained risks. Even Fang Yuan did not know what condition Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was currently in. But since Fang Yuan had already planned this far, would he not have backup solution? He casted his gaze at Spectral Soul Demon Venerable who was far away. After this period of killing, his injuries had mostly recovered. He is the best vanguard that we can have. Fang Yuan smiled as he used his method. Totem killer moves flew out and provoked the insane Spectral Soul Demon Venerable continuously. He was successfully lured into Heavenly Court. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2330, Almost Suffering Amnesia from the Explosion. Chapter 2330, Almost Suffering Amnesia from the Explosion. With a soft grunt, Zhao Lianyun woke up in an area of ruins and rubble. All she saw were chi currents in front of her. The entire place was covered in white, in all directions. Her ears were buzzing, she felt dizzy and lightheaded. What happened to me? Zhao Lianyun breathed roughly as she inspected her body. She was originally wearing a white dress, she had light skin and white teeth, as refreshing as lilies in the morning. But now, her face was blackened like soot, her white dress was torn and tattered. She was like a refugee living in a famine, having a wretched appearance. After checking, she found that her body was intact but she had no strength at all, her limbs felt weak and powerless. What happened? Why am I like this? Primordial Origin's explosion occurred too suddenly and abruptly. Zhao Lianyun suffered a huge impact and almost experienced amnesia. But soon, her dizziness faded away and Zhao Lianyun slowly regained her memories. An unprecedented and terrifying explosion had occurred. Her pupils contracted, this scene was etched in her mind and would not be forgotten in her entire life. It was too terrifying. A moment ago, the many Gu immortals around her were watching the mountain-like Chi harvest fruit with immense anticipation for Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable's revival. But at the next moment, Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable exploded. Among all of the Gu immortals, Zhao Lianyun was standing near the periphery, but she was still affected by the explosion. This explosion was too intense, the whole of Heavenly Court was in ruins, Zhao Lianyun naturally could not escape. Why did it explode all of a sudden? As her memories cleared up, Zhao Lianyun's breathing became rougher. I can't believe it, I am practically unharmed. Did Love Gu protect me? Wait, I need to save the rest. Zhao Lianyun's heart jumped, she realized what she should be doing. She might have had Love Gu's protection, but others did not have a rank 9 immortal Gu like her. Zhao Lianyun quickly set off as she went into the vast field of Qi currents, searching for other surviving Gu immortals. Before the explosion occurred, the Gu immortals of the 10 great ancient sects were all at the periphery, they were far apart and watched the Qi harvest fruit in small groups. The people who were closer to the center were the members of Heavenly Court. White Qi rumbled like a vast fog. Zhao Lianyun tried many investigative methods but none worked. These white Qi were remnants of the Qi harvest fruit, the aftermath of the explosion. With the area being filled with Qi path Dao marks, it was not strange that a mere rank 6 Gu immortal like Zhao Lianyun was unable to use investigative methods unless she could use Love Gu now. But Love Gu was not just a rank 9 immortal Gu, it was very special. Even a venerable could not refine it forcefully, even though it was wisdom path, star constellation immortal venerable had not been able to use it. Thus, it continued to live in Zhao Lianyun's body. Zhao Lianyun did not refine Love Gu but received its acknowledgement instead. Thus, she could not activate it freely. Sometimes, she wanted it to attack but it would escape with her. If she wanted it to defend, it might heal instead. Furthermore, each time Love Gu was used, it would take something away from Zhao Lianyun, sometimes, it would even take lifespan. Zhao Lianyun flew into the white Qi and looked around for people using her memories of the location. After a while, she gasped as she found Buzhenzi. When the explosion occurred, he was standing beside her, they were talking. But after the explosion, they were sent flying and left their original spot. But he was still the first person she found. But he was still the first person she found. Bu Zhenzi's injuries were terrifying. Half his body was blown away, only his fragile skeleton was left protecting his heart. He only had 2 internal organs left, the rest were blown to smithereens. The remaining half of Bu Zhenzi's body had turned into a phantom state, his limbs, chest, and internal organs were linked by a translucent thread, he seemed to be in a stable condition. Zhao Lianyun wanted to save him but found that she was helpless to do anything. The injuries were just too severe. The missing half of his body was not important, forget about Heavenly Court, even Spirit Affinity House had many ways to regrow his bones, organs, and flesh. But the issue was the large number of Qi Path Dao marks that were carved on his body. The remaining half of his body emitted dense white smoke made of white Qi, his remaining organs and bones were also slowly turning into Qi. What kept him alive was the phantom state that half of his body was currently in. When the explosion occurred, Bu Zhenzi used a phantom path method, but even with this semi-invulnerable state, he could not avoid the injuries caused by this explosion. Zhao Lianyun deduced the situation that happened inside deeply, worry and frustration could be seen on her face. Bu Zhenzi was kept alive by his half-phantom body, but this would not last long. The Qi Path Dao marks were going to affect it soon, slowly turning everything into Qi. Bu Zhenzi can't last much longer. Zhao Lianyun was helpless, she felt increasingly anxious. She tried to wake him up but Bu Zhenzi remained unconscious. Zhao Lianyun did not even dare to move Bu Zhenzi, she was afraid that he would die from the smallest impact. She had to temporarily abandon him and remember this spot, before going back into the white Qi fog to look for others. Is anyone here, please help. Zhao Lianyun moved around in the vast white Qi fog. She called out continuously, the feeling of loneliness and helplessness soon assaulted her in this situation. She was still in disbelief. When she came earlier, she looked at the layers of buildings and saw how grand and majestic Heavenly Court was, she felt surprise and admiration from the depths of her heart. Heavenly Court's immense foundation was accumulated through countless years of history, she felt tiny and insignificant, while also having a sense of security in this place. When she witnessed the gradual When she witnessed the gradual revival of Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable, she felt that Heavenly Court was regaining its former glory. But then, Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable exploded. It was too sudden and too abrupt. What happened? Did Fang Yuan or the other Venerables attack? What are Heavenly Court's losses? Can anyone come to help me, at least respond with a word? Zhao Lianyun suddenly stopped moving. There was an intense suction force coming from in front of her, the surrounding white chi currents were sucked in. Zhao Lianyun barely stabilized her footing as she slowly got close. The suction force was becoming gradually weaker. After Zhao Lianyun reached the source, her pupils contracted as she saw an immortal aperture's entrance. The entrance was open and drawing in white chi from outside. After stabilizing, a blessed land was formed. Zhao Lianyun stood before the immortal aperture's entrance in a daze, motionless. She saw the scenery inside the entrance. There were rivers and flower trees. Under the waves of chi currents, petals fell from the trees and fell into the rivers, flowing downstream where the carps waited to eat the petals as food. This was the scene of Fairy Lu Fang's immortal aperture. It was extremely beautiful and valuable. It was quite famous in Spirit Affinity House. Fairy Lu Fang was in charge of the secret. Fairy Lu Fang was in charge of the Secret Inheritance Peak. She was a neutral faction supreme elder in Spirit Affinity House. Zhao Lianyun remembered that the first time she went to Secret Inheritance Peak, Fairy Lu Fang did not attend to her personally, which was the rule as she was the current generation fairy. Afterwards, their relationship had always been plain. However, no matter how distant they were, seeing this immortal aperture entrance, Zhao Lianyun's eyes turned red. She felt an intense feeling of sorrow in her heart. She was dead. Fairy Lu Fang died during the explosion. Although she had rank 7 cultivation level, she did not have the defensive power of Phantom Path. She did not have Love Gu either. Not a single trace of her remained. Her immortal aperture landed in Heavenly Court. Because Heavenly Court was filled with Heaven's will and had no heavenly spirit, Lu Fang Blessed Land was formed by taking in heaven and earth chi from outside to stabilize itself. Zhao Lianyun barely managed to control her emotions. She continued to look around for help. Along the way, she saw many immortal aperture entrances which were currently taking in heaven and earth chi. There were too many deaths. Not mentioning the Heavenly Court members, Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects sent more than 10 Gu immortals each. Not counting the captives in the star array calculation formation, there are over 100 Gu immortals from the 10 sects in Heavenly Court now. This explosion killed 80% of the Gu immortals. Zhao Lianyun calculated. She felt her heart turning cold. The 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent had many Gu immortals. Before the 5 regions became one, Immortal Crane sect alone had 12 Gu immortals, and this was one of the weakest sects among the 10. After the 5 regions became one, the earth veins moved while chi tides appeared, producing countless immortal materials. This caused many Gu immortals within the sects to become stronger. The Gu immortal seeds also had deeper foundations. During the wave of immortal ascension, many Gu immortal seeds in the 10 great ancient sects succeeded in becoming Gu immortals. Aside from them, there were also other Gu immortals recruited from outside. For example, Supreme Elder Wu Zhang from Heavenly Lotus sect recruited the Wood Virtue Elder Mu Huai from the 5 Virtues sect. After the latter became an immortal, because he was a higher up of the 5 Virtues sect that Wu Zhang created, he was qualified to enter Heavenly Lotus sect. This was the advantage of Central Continent sect system. Earlier, to ensure Primordial Origin's revival, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable gave up everything else in the process. To prevent Fang Yuan's retaliation, she brought all the elites of Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects into Heavenly Court. But to think that Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable would explode upon revival, like this, many of Central Continent's Gu immortals died, the pillars of Central Continent's righteous path collapsed. Such a terrifying loss made Zhao Lianyun's arms and legs turn weak. Doomed, Central Continent is doomed. Maybe Heavenly Court can still revive them. Zhao Lianyun was hopeful. But she was not stupid. The more she thought about it, the more she sensed that there was a huge scheme behind this explosion. Central Continent was plotted against. Heavenly Court fell into a trap. Star constellation Immortal Venerable also fell for a scheme. Although Zhao Lianyun had rank 9 Love Gu, she was only rank 6, what could she do? She could only get help, she shouted loudly. Zhao Lianyun started walking slower and slower. At this moment, she felt that she was so weak. Don't be dejected, current generation fairy of Spirit Affinity House, Heavenly Court is still around, we are also still alive. Right at this moment, there was a lantern that brightened inside the vast white chi. The lantern was not bright but it was stubborn, it forced its way out of the white chi and arrived before Zhao Lianyun. It was an elderly Gu immortal, his body was bloodstained from head to toe. One of his arms was gone from the explosion, his remaining arm was carrying a small fire in his palm. Zhao Lianyun recognized him, it was Immortal Crane Sex Old Lord Qin Yang. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.